invite Mr. V. Shivarugunadan, the Principal Consultant of Consortium, to inspire you all in effective communication session.
This is called effective communication. What? I smiled at you. I shall say good morning. Right? So best communication is always smile. Right? There's a good definition for smile. Good definition. A curve that straightens up all the relations. What does it mean? A curve that straightens up all the relations. So if you smile at anybody, the relationship is made. Right? That is the effective way of communication. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Right. How was yesterday? How was yesterday? Did you get something yesterday?
Yes.
Right? Something out of us, those who are here, right? You got something. That is called take home message. Take home message. You are giving something to take home, and once you take home, don't sleep in that. Right? Take it and see and build it up. How many of you got the full meaning for MBBS? I told you to do it, look at it. And this is a mistake you are making. Once you do know, yes, good. Right? This is correct. Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery. It's different. What does LLB stand for? LLB. What does that degree? This is something to do with management or LLB is something to do with law, right? Say Bachelor of Law. But they say LLB stand for Lamainge Lamai Balanakari. LLB stand for Lamainge Lamai Balanakari. Right? One time we will come to that period, so prepare for that. Now it's communicate, there must be a result. Right? There must be an outcome. Otherwise pointless. Right? So before you speak, before you communicate, you see what am I going to achieve? What I am going to achieve. If you speak to anybody, your parents, your relatives, your friends, your boss, your subordinates, your subordinates, before you speak, whether what I say, what I communicate, whether it is bringing effective results, the result I know. So you have to decide that first, and that is your goal. And for that, you have to time. First of all, you have to design your goal. What I am going to achieve. This definition, take it down. Because you have to memorize, and always before you do any communication, this is important. The exchange of thoughts, messages, or information. Remember, information is a plural. That is why we don't say informations. Maybe it may be by speech or writing or sometimes just body language. The exchange of thoughts. Actually what we are doing by communicating, we are trying to why I move her. When I speak, why I move her? Because if I was, will change the position so that you are not tired and you don't fall asleep. And after looking at you, you also don't fall asleep. So it's a way of communicating. But the thing is, once you move, don't speak. But I can't help it because I have given a particular time to finish my speech. So I have to speak. But when you make a speech, once you move, don't make any words. Just move there and start speaking. That is very important. It's the lecturers can't help it because they have to make use of the time. But when you are doing a public speaking, once you want to move, you have to make use of the stage. But once you do that, don't speak when you move. Go to a place, stand there, then speak. So remember, once you move, don't speak. Because the audience gets distracted. so that the ideas won't be achieved. Okay? Right. Concise, complete, correct. Please write it down, so you will forget. Right? 3 more to come. What is clear? It must be clear, right? Once you read it, you should know that it is clear. It is speaking about only one subject, and you are stressing on that. What is concise? It must be very brief, right? Very brief, but it must be very clear. You can't go on building up unnecessary things. What is concrete? You can't break it down. Very strong. You must be very strong on your points. For that, you may be giving examples, you may be giving explanations, you may be giving statistics, you may be giving quotes, right? You may be bringing speakers from others. So that is concrete. You are supporting your point. Right? Remember, concrete is what? And it should be correct. Per day in Sri Lanka, the birth rate is 1,700. How did I get it? I saw the one village sent by the Inland Revenue Department. They say that in Sri Lanka 365,000 amount. So when I divide by 360, you get 1,000 people, more than 1,000 births, or more than 1,000 births. So that is correct. There is somebody to support my. I have taken a statistic which is reliable. So it should be correct. You must be able to prove that. Yes, this place they have shown it, I can prove that. So it should be very correct. So clear, concise, concrete, correct, coherent. It does not contradict. It is stressing only one. It is not saying this is good, then again other para you are telling this is bad. No. It should be coherent and it should be complete. Right? You can't leave it in the middle. You have to finally you try the point. This is what I am going to say. That it must be complete in all aspects. Right? If a client asks you advice, at the end you won't or you tell all the things, ultimately you are not giving a decision. Or you are not giving any options. So that is not complete. He is asking for an opinion, you are not given. So it is not complete. So ensure what is he looking for. That is complete. And more than anything, first is courteous. What do you mean courteous? You have to, even you don't like him, you have to say respected sir or dear sir. Ultimately you write yours faithfully or yours truly. But you don't use any word that are unparliamentary words. What do you mean by unparliamentary words? The words that you should not speak, it cannot be printed. Right? So that is third place. How many of you can close your note and can tell 7 C's? No. Right? Always try to recall it. Right? 7 C's are very important. Any report, any writing. Right? These 7 C's must be ensured. You have a checklist and think whether I am courteous, whether I am complete, whether I am concrete, right? Whether it is clear. 7 C's remain. Right? Any report, anything you write, these 7 C's will help you. Right? These are very good checklist. I always have this. This is in mind. When I read the right. This clear is there, coherent is there, right? Concrete is there. That's very important. This is the way it is effective communication. I see some letters coming. Out of 7, you have sometimes only 1. Because only the DSL is good. Sometimes you address the Commissioner General is a gentleman, but you say dear madam. Wrong. Right? You have to ensure when you are addressing the person, right? And specifically when you address, ensure the initials are correct. You have to put the correct initials, that is very important. And the title. When you were talking last time, you were chief accountant. But now you have become a financial control. All the secretary has is so. Very important, because you can't deviate anything. Knowing that he has been upgraded, you can't read it. Right? That is effective communication. When you get the letter, he must see that you have put enough effort to see it is a complete one, coherent, correct one, complete one, very clear. Okay? So shall we go back to 7? Right. Each table is going to explain to me what is clear. Right. Number 1, what is clear? If you don't speak, I won't move the circle. So throughout the day, I am going to only do this. What is clear? Anybody? Is it not clear to you? My question. What is clear? Once you read it, you should understand what you are going to tell. Concise, brief, right? In the sense, it gives a brief but very effective. Concrete, support is very strong, right? And the correct one, you have reasons to believe what you say is that you can prove that is correct. You have supported documents or supported evidence. Coherent is speaking on one language. You are not contradicting what you said first. You are not contradicting. And complete, it has whatever needed is there. If they ask for advice, you are giving that. If they ask for the computation, you are giving the computation. Right? And courteous, the language must be very certain. Right? They use very good courteous language. Means very polite. What are the barriers? Why we can't do effective communications? Right? Because you might have language problem. You have language problem in the sense you are not practiced much. So then that is one. Or other one is psychological. Psychologically you think that I can't do. Always is the best word. I can. Always think that I could do. I will. I can. So if you have that in mind, like yesterday Mr. Gerard was telling you, right? I have joined an audit firm just to complete my practical training. If you have that, you are an ACA. What is ACA? Another chartered accountant. Right? In time to come you will be becoming an CA, police chartered accountant. That's all. Right? You must become an ACA. That is, able chartered. Right? People must, I told you, as professional, people should not look at you. They should look up to you. Up to in the sense, they are expecting something extra than from others. Because you possess that ability. Right? And you possess that ability, you display that ability, you exchange that ability. Then only you are nice. That cannot be done at one day. It should be done every day. You polish yourself every day. Compare yourself yesterday morning and today morning. Am I different person? This I tell my staff always. When you are walking in 8:30, when you are going at 5 o'clock, you must be a different person. Right? You should have done 3 things. Right? If you are Samantha coming at 8:30 is not the Samantha going out of 5 o'clock. He should have done 3 things. He should have done something to the client because he is the one who is providing all the facilities. To learn, to earn, to return. Remember yesterday. Learn, earn and return. He is giving that chance, so you must respect it. You should have done something to him first. Second thing, to the company, to the firm you work. Because they give you opportunity for you to improve your knowledge. You should have done. Third important thing is, you should have done something to you. You must be a different person. Think that did I learn anything today? At least one English word, one proper sentence, one thing from the other one get, one thing from the back. Right? Something new did I learn? I must be a different person when I walk in at 8:30, when I walk out at 5 o'clock. Right? So that must be your goal. That must be your goal. Then every day you are improving yourself. You are a different person day by day. Right? When you take 1 week, you are a different person. 1 month, even a different. So that should be the bar. And you have to raise the bar every day. Then you are real. The role of training is achieved. Your training period is very important. That is the period you learn. Right? You can make mistakes. We have mistakes. There are people correcting, scolding, right? There are people. But once you go up in the ladder, you have no people there, right? You have to have sufficient knowledge for you to look after yourself. So they are very important when you go up in the ladder, right? So that's very important. Otherwise, physiology. Sometimes people think that because I am dark, I am short, I am tall, I am fat, I can't. No, that is nothing to do with the communication. But communication is different. So you should not have any physiological barrier. It is systematic. Right? Always you go on the negative side. So then it is nothing is coming out of your mind. So always you think I thought. That and attitude. Right? Attitude is what? How you look at you and how you look at others. You have to treat others as you. Right? If it hurts you, you shouldn't do that to others. Simple as that. Right? So that is your attitude changes also variance to the communication. Like in a common experience, you never open, you are like this. If I want to learn swimming, right, I can't say, I will not get into the water until I know how I should know how to swim. Same thing as, if I want to ride a bicycle, I want to learn a bicycle, I say, I don't get into ride a bicycle unless I know how to ride it properly. You have to get into it. You have to make mistakes. You have to fall down. Right? So likewise, communication also same. You make mistakes and correct it. Okay? There are other things that is all common one. Being ambiguous or overusing abstractions. Right? Ambiguous is not clear. As I said, the clarity I talked about the 7 C's, so that when you are not clear, it will happen. And you have to put too much of information into. That is why I say concise is important, brief. But jumping to conclusion too easily or making assumption. This is the one when we make mistakes. When you talk to others, before they say something, you perceive, he is going to tell that or she is going to tell that. So you have already an answer already in you. Before they complete, you tell your answer. That is very important. Wait. Don't jump into conclusions. Until listen to them. The listening is also very important for effective communication. You know, when once at the beginning I will speak, right? I stood here. Because I want to tell you that is called body language. Right? Body language is very important. Right? So that they are found out of 100%, your communication level is 100%, 79% is coming from body language. But other one are verbal and vocal. Right? The way you look at it, and the way you stand, it gives you the communication is very effective. When you are nervous, people can see. Everybody nervous, but by practice you don't show them. The stance is how I stand. Right? When you stand, balance yourself, right? And put your hands, because sometimes people started talking like this. I have seen people talking like this. It's very, very bad, because they are searching something inside the pocket. They are not in the public. It's not nice. Right? Some people look at like this and speak. Right? Whether they are ready for a fight. So that stand thing, sometimes people like that and speak. Right? So you always stand is like this. And specifically when you speak, they say don't shoulder this side of the hands. Because this is comparatively this is fat. Right? So this gives you assurance as well. Right? So don't show your hands when you are speaking like that. Because this is darker than anybody's hand like that. This is fat. So they normally say don't use this side of the hand. This will come as practice. Right? Have you listened to the Gavel Club speech yesterday? Right? Keep it a point and join the Gavel Club. It's very important. That is like MBA, communication class. You won't learn anything out of it. wherever, right? That is the only place. And it is given free, and you are given refreshment also free, and people, very prominent people come and lecture. So that is the communication. My sincere advice is to join your club. I gain by Toastmasters. Because my lecture, everything, I improve because of I joined Toastmasters. I learn. Right? I know my mistakes were there. You can learn around, because very important. After completing your ACA, FCA, if you don't know how to communicate, you are no good. Remember, you must know how. So it gives you ample opportunity to improve yourself. Right. Movement, I spoke about movement. Right? When you move, don't speak, but I can't help it. Right? When you are doing a public speech, make a move, stand there, then speak. Right? You can move whatever, back or front, it doesn't matter. But once you move, don't speak. Go to a point where you want to stay, then speak. Right? That movement is important. Sorry, gestures. Gestures, I told you about gestures. Right? You can't say the whole world, you can't say. It's a whole. Right? The gesture and what you want to express must coincide. That is gestures. And generally, you can't speak like this, you can't think it, that is bad. Right? So certain rules are there that you have to learn by attending the Yavaka. Facial expression. The easiest way to give the good expression is smile. Right? Have you seen yourself smiling in front of the mirror? Very nice. Go and try to it. Go and try to it. When you smile, you love yourself. Right? When they say when you are smiling, you are only 60 muscles in your face work. But when you frown, when you are angry, 61 muscles work. They are found. So when you frown, what happens? You become old soon. Why? 61 muscles are working every day, every time. So your face gets, right, old. And they have found out. When you smile, only 16 works. Right? But other side, 61. So remember, try to smile. Right? Even whether you have beard or not, it doesn't matter. Smile is smile. Right? Sorry. Eye contact. How can I eye contact the whole? That is very important. Some people come here, they speak to the senior. Right? Some people come here and speak to the fluent. Some people come here and speak to the foreign. That message won't be. Right? I tell you, the easiest way to eye contact, what I do is, now you might have seen that I have spoken to you. Right? You might have found out that I have spoken to you. I have eyeball contact. The easiest way what I do is, I start from there. Right? I start from there, I just come. Then I go this way. Right? Eye contact. I stand here and I do it. Then I do it crisscross. Right? When I crisscross, what happens is, whom I have missed, I will catch up. Ultimately, within say about 2 to 3 minutes, I have covered all the audience. The audience thinks that I have come specially here to speak to him or her. That impression I have. They have found out. You are looking at the nose, actually you are looking at the eye contact. This they have found out, right? When you are going for interviews, when you go to the interview, look at the person who is interviewing the nose. Actually then it goes to eye contact. And don't laugh, right, by looking at the nose. Right, that is the end of your interview. These are all, they have found out. These are researchers done and they have found out. Right? If you want to speak to a person, when you are looking at the nose and speak, you don't have to look at eye. Right? More or less you are looking at it. So the eye contact is big. Eye contact is very important. How many of you look at your boss and speak eye contact? Or you look at the other and speak? Next time you look at him, you want to look at him. So you can achieve it. If you want to get a leave or you want to get a promotion, is easy. Eye contact is very important. Make it natural. Right? So some people artificially bring it. No. When I speak, it naturally comes. That comes from practice, right? That comes from practice. Unless you practice, you can't do it. Right? Practice in front of you. And you have phone now, you can take your speech, you can read your speech and unless you practice, you never will. Communication is a practice, always practice. Practice makes perfect. It's very important. Grooming. If your company or your organization allows you to wear dark dress, it's a communication. Easy to attract people. Right? If you are wearing dark, what happens is you have to change your other dresses, tie and or something. But always, when you are working office sector, is preferred if you have light colors, pale colors. Right? You have other dark dresses for the functions, it doesn't matter. Right? Always light dresses, specifically in Sri Lanka, because of our climate, it's better to wear fair colors. Right? So dress or all the other colors, better to have it for other functions. This dressing is very important. Dress and shoes must correspond. You are wearing red shoes, or sometimes you wear, sometimes the ladies prefer to wear leather. They walk 3 feet side, right? Though they are very uncomfortable, but they prefer to walk on the leather, right? When you come in, please get down and come, because they are 3 feet above the. So those are shoes not permitted, or it's not, I won't say permitted, it's not nice. Right? We are coming to serve somebody, then you can't have your fashion shoes or fashion things, because the service is important. We are actually service providers. Right? We are service providers. So when you provide services, the service must have. These are all additions, right? So that you can serve with colors as well. Right? The color is important. But occasion. Depending on the occasion, you are dressed. Right? If you are speaking at a religious place, it will be fine. You go in white, depending on the places. Right? So there you can't wear the dark colors. It depends on the occasion. Right? The dress, always remember when you are making a speech, right? A public speech. Mark, what is learning? Learning is ASK. Asking, right? That is he talking about. You must, or in other words, I would say 3H. Your speech must aim at 3H. What is 3H? You must speak to the head. What do you mean by head? Right? You are giving something to think about. Right? When you recite a speech, you can speak to head or heart. You may make him or her feel some sad story, right? And some other pathetic story that they feel that has happened. So you will speak to the heart. And the hand, what do you mean by hand? You make them do something. So any speech can have this 3H. Any speech you can include this 3H. You can speak to the heart, you can speak to the head, or you can speak to the heart, and you can speak to the hand. So that the hand, they are willing to do something. Right? So when you do a speech, think whether these 3H is there. Right? And what is not there is 3V. Can you take it out? 3H plus 3V. Head, hand, and heart. When you speak must, the content must speak to the head or heart or hand. You may make them do something. So by that what happens is, right, your speech is achieved. You have making something to do. The 3 first V is vocal variety. VOCAL. Vocal variety. When you speak, you may very speak or you may slow down, fast, right? That is vocal variety. Sometimes you raise your voice, sometimes you are slow, sometimes those things. That is vocal variety. Right? That is important. Second one is verbal. Verbal in the sense, the contents of the speech. Your main aim is in vain if you don't gain from all your pain. People don't understand, but they look at it. He is telling something. So those things you can get. That is the verbal content, the word you use. They say that more than your ability, your capability and your capacity, your integrity will enhance your ability and ensure the probability of possibility of mobility upwards. Would you understand? But there is something I say. That is, if your integrity will help you to come up in life. But I have put some words so that people look at you and people who are listening, doing something and listening. Whether verbal content is such that makes the people. So, vocal variety, verbal content. The third one is visual display. That is the body language. How visually they see. So always try to match this 3H with 3. And your communication will be very effective. Any questions? Right. When there are no questions, I am going to ask somebody to come and make a speech for me. All what we have done, you have learned clarity, all those things. Verbal 3H, 3V, a lot of things you have learned. So better somebody ask question, then I won't ask anybody to come. Right. How can you, shall I stop it or is Kumar ready to do? Right, when he comes I stop. How can you start a speech, commencement of a speech? Because the beginning and the ending is very important. One way, you ask a question from the audience. Now if I ask this question, how many of you know how many people died because of coronavirus? Now I have taken you to somewhere else. Now you are thinking what you have seen, what you have read, right? But you are with me. Because I have engaged yourself. So by asking a question from the audience, a question that they can answer, right? Or they can think of. So one way of starting a speech is asking a question. Sometimes what the good speakers do is they put people there, known people there, they ask the question. So then these people don't ask, they ask that question. So they have some sort of. So when you don't have that word, you ask, they don't answer. Then you say, yes, I know your answer, then you start. So these are some tricks. One way of starting and commencing a speech is asking a question from the audience. Second thing is you can bring some quotes from big people. Right, what they have said. What Neil Armstrong said. Who is Neil Armstrong? Not me, right? Well, my problem is asking questions. I have asked about Albert Einstein and talked about his hairstyle, then you read it. Who is Neil Armstrong? He is the first person to land on the moon. Right? The beauty of they interviewed his mother. They interviewed Neil Armstrong. What do you think about your son, that your son has landed the first person on the moon? What do you think about it? She said, I am happy that he was able to come. Because they put him on the moon. Correct? The people are worried about putting on the moon, but they didn't worry about taking him. So the mother is the only one who cares about the child. He said, I am very happy because he was able to come. So that is, motherly love never changes, whether east or west, or north or east or south, mother is not. So first thing is ask for questions. Now your next lecture has come, right? So I have, these are things that my request of our ultimate take-home message is join your club, stand in front of your mirror and smile and see your beautiful face, right? And you will fall down in yourself. That is very important. Before you love others, right? Love yourself. and always have three things once you go to office. I am not the person, I am a different person and I go at 8:30, 5 o'clock or 8 o'clock, whatever the time you go home. Right. And thank you very much, right, for your patient listening and not asking difficult questions from me, right, embarrassing questions, so that I will be thankful. Don't do that. Ask questions at office and learn something. And I sincerely wish to see you as members of the institute as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite Mr. pt1, Sole Proprietor of AP Associates, to deliver the next session on introduction to internal audit.
Fine or bad?
Fine.
The second day is a full change. You are so happy to do, right? It is the problem finished. Is it so? Huh? That's fine, good, okay. I have only half an hour. 10 o'clock, you are so keen to have tea, I know that. So I stopped at 10 o'clock. Now my task to just do the verification. Feel like a balance sheet. Do you think the afternoon is enough? Okay. But I test you. Now you would have studied from grade 1 to A level. You are good in maths. So first, before I go into teach something new, I want to test you what you have studied up to now. You are good in maths. Okay? Fine. And you know what is how to derive the division, percentage and all? Good. Okay, with it. No pen. Okay, I'll tell a story, yeah? You like to listen to story, you are so tired. There was a chartered accountant in a village. Okay. But he's working in Colombo, he goes to his hometown once in a week. Very rural area. There was a farmer, very old man like me, 56 years old. He's about to die, so sick. So he called his chartered accountant and told, sir, you are the one and only educated person in this village. Okay? I have some assets, property. After my death, you have to I will apportion to my children and wife. I'll give the ratio how we have to do it. I'll give in writing. Okay? We have to do it. He said, okay, fine, it's not a problem. Give the letter, he kept it in the drawer and he went to bed. One in the morning, somebody was knocking the door to see that farmer's wife, son, daughters are just out. The son is a villain, you know villain, huh? He's a IRC in the village. You can't just speak to him, you can't do any deal with him. You also think that like this. Your father has given a letter to you. Now I want the access. He said, no, now I can't open. That is his last will. After his death on is possible. No, yes, already died. Really, yes. Now we need the access. This man went inside, took the letter, he is reading now. Now we have notebook, right? Keep that, what he has written. I have 17 cows. How much I have? That is the only asset we have. Now, half of this should go to my daughter. Who's that? My daughter came with her. Collector, Mata 17 cows, okay, father, then don't marry, put that. Again, first. One third should go to my daughter. One third should go to my daughter. And 1/9 should go to my wife. Now, you are the chartered accountant, the so-called chartered accountant, have to apportion it correctly. You can't do cutting chopping, that's like how you are going to apportion it. Keep in mind, you are chartered accountant, na? As my teacher told you, they were chartered accountant. Now you have to decide whether you are another chartered accountant or a chartered accountant. Come on, apportion it again. How much what is going to get? Have you done? Why do that? Who was the accountant? Nona Putra didn't do it. Putra Putra. My son is here. You can answer me You got clear, huh? Half go to son, is son here, 1/3 to wife, 1/9 is daughter, somebody. The second is daughter, third is wife. Just tell me how many cows to son, how many cows to wife, how many cows to daughter. You won't calculate that. What is half? Half is how much? You can't cut the cow. You are a chartered accountant. Half is how much? Difficult, no? So how you have to do? How you are going to handle the problem? Are you coming to the institute and you are going to handle the certificate back to it? That is the difference between the education and the qualification, my dear friends. Okay? Whenever you go for the verification, whenever you go to the audit client place, don't just carry your knowledge, what you have earned or learned from this auditing class. This is not going to help you. Okay? I come to this answer now. Give me another 2 minutes time. I'll come for this answer. Now if I ask very, very easy questions for you. Now from the institute, everybody knows where about Boraya. Okay? Now if I ask you very simple questions. There's no traffic. No vehicles, no signal, no traffic police, nothing there, the road is full free. Now you have to start here and you have to go to Boraya. How long, how many minutes or how many hours will it take to go to Boraya? Just approximately tell me. I don't want the exact answer. From here to go to Boraya, how long, how many hours or how many minutes you need? Just, I am sure you can't give the correct answer. Just tell me.
5 minutes.
5 minutes, very good. How about here? You can't give the correct answer. How much? 10 minutes, very good. That's the thing, opinion. How about here? 15 minutes. 5 minutes. Now 2 5 minutes, 1 10 minutes. If any questions? Any questions? No. This is the place you are making mistake. I ask, from here to go to Boraya, how long, how many hours or minutes you need? Nobody can ask how I am going. By push bicycle, or motor bicycle, or car. Without that, how can you decide the time? How are you going to decide the time? Therefore, be careful. Be careful about this qualification. Every time our struggling with this qualification is disaster. As he clearly said, you are going to become another chartered accountant. Try to develop your knowledge and soft skill. Coming back to my questions, get yourself involved. When you go to the client's place, you just get into the shoe. Don't ask him to remove the shoe and you wear the shoe. Okay? You be a proprietor. You be a accountant. You be a storekeeper. When you go to the store, you be a storekeeper. You find the storekeeper. What the wrong thing I can do? Come from that channel. Understood? Then we can create questions for inquiries. Now that questions, we have 17 cards. Okay, we put like this. Now this chartered accountant came. He can do cutting, chopping. Okay, fine. I find difficult to do. I will divide this assessed among you. Okay, I like to give one of mine. He went to the shed, then he brought another cow from the shed. Yeah, take it. That's I am giving gift. Okay? For how many cows there are? 18. Am I right? Half of 18 is how much? You write it up? Huh? 9. Put that 9, write 9. Yes, I don't have a pen here. 9. 1/3 of 18 is how much? 6. Very good. 1/9 of 18 is how much? 1/9. Difficult to divide. Huh? 18, 1/9.
1/9.
Yeah, 1/9. 1/9. So very good. Now, son is getting 6. Because I have given my formula. Son is getting 6. Daughter is getting 2. Son is getting 9. Daughter is getting 6.
Yeah.
Wife is getting 2. Okay, including my cow. Now what is the total cow? Total 17. Where about your cow? Say. Understood? That's it. This is how we have to handle the problem. When you come to the practical scenario, I don't know where you are going to learn. What is the syllabus going to cover this? Okay, so with that starting, I'll just move. Oh my God, the presentation was scheduled for another this thing. Right. Okay. I'll come to the real scenario now. Now, very familiar, easy questions I'm going to ask you. Be careful, be careful. You are not going to be another chartered accountant as it says, as a able chartered students answer to this. No hurry, think and answer. Now, you want to check sales. What do you want to check? Sales. Very, very easy audit test. What are the documents you will refer? We'll start from this table. Just for a sales.
Yes,
Sales invoice, very good. One is enough. Come on, sales. Very easy thing. Sorry, I'll do only half an hour. Again, handle for a short of time. Very good. You are not doing what you can. Go to the client speak, implicit, say. How about you? Say. Huh? Payment vouchers. Okay. There again, you are struggling, my dear friends. Nobody even asks what is the item I want to check. See, I have given two examples. Even third, you are lacking in the same place. Yesterday I told you, come here. Adam, I told the story about the king. I don't know, because of the time schedule, I couldn't do my presentation properly yesterday. What I want to say is, the good minister is your original. Now say, is Damayanti, the original Damayanti. The minister who's helping is ego. Or is mine. Don't speak. If you make mistakes, she will laugh. I am comfortable. I am speaking now. Don't go front. If you go and make mistake, all will laugh at you. I am comfortable. So you are giving the chance to the comfortable within you, the comfortable mindset, the person who is living very comfortably. One day, that comfortable man has killed the original man. Now you are totally governed by the comfortable man. You got it? You are reluctant to say answer. You are totally covered by the comfortable man. The original man has killed. King has killed. Understood? They will not give you. If I cannot say no, you cannot be part. Then Mr. Prabhupada answered, what's going to happen? It's okay. Now you say sales invoice, person or something like that. Now my item is petrol sales in the petrol shed. It was in my mind. When you have bike and car here, no? When you go to pump petrol, you go to the office and raise the invoice. And take the invoice to the pumper and say, here, I have paid for 2 liters pump. Do you do that? Now you have to take invoice. What is the purpose of taking invoice? You got what I am saying now? Huh? Again I am saying, I don't want to speak so technical. As you say, take invoice, take vouchers, take case pass. That is so nonsense. Those are just guidance. Don't blindly follow that. Understood? Go with a different mindset. For the petrols, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't check the invoice. Okay, if you go for the tea factory says, how you are going to check the black tea is correct or wrong? How you are going to check? You should know how you are going to check. Because if they put 100 kilos of green tea leaf, probably they are getting 22.5 of black tea. I mean kilo. Black tea means up to that is the ratio. It may be 22 to 25. That is the benchmark. With that intention, you have to check the voucher or invoice and see the green leaf is here, black leaf is here. In between, the factory officer may play something. So they are not aware of this because they are not handling the green tea, they are not recording the black tea. They are doing only handling the middle way, they are giving here and there. So wherever you go, whatever the product you check, nowadays you are so happy, you are so intelligent, so interested, you know. Now when you want this phone, you get everything. Am I right? Everything you get. How to do that product, how to do this and everything. In my experience, when I was doing my final, when I came to the gate, you know, our best friends, the fantastic friends, they come and help us. They come in the last one and say, Master, you know, we have a chance in the management, they are getting empowerment. We are coming with the very bad empowerment. This man is asking other questions. But now we can quickly check that. In our era, no chance. Okay, so these days you will not need any teachers. You will get it, everything from the phone. Okay, now if you go to verify the fish, okay, say for the fish exporters, they are keeping the freezer. Okay, have you done anybody here? Have you done anybody here? I'm just giving some idea because if I start every day I'm having that problem. You will never allow to open the freezer. Why that? If you open that, the quality will come down. It's export quality. You can't do anything. If you go in adamant and say, no, I want to check the fish, I want to see the physical existence, and if they are not giving, if they are giving a report opinion, oh, we are unable to give a report on this very accuracy of the stock because we are not allowed to do the verification. See how mad you are. You are very mad. How mad you are, I can say use that word. So you should know what I can verify, what should do. But then you should know when I have to verify the fish. That's what you have to do. When you can do that, they are having the computer system, sometimes they are having the last 2 or 3 fish there. You can keep inform the accountant when it gets empty or when you are opening, please call us to observe. Understood? That is how we have to do that. When you go to the coconut industry, okay, now see the copra, coconut, oil and all you have there. Okay, now see, if you put, now say the desiccated coconut, now if you say, if you put 4 to 5 kilos of desiccated coconut, copra, you get 1 kilo of desiccated coconut. These are ratios. And the oil also like that, copper also like that. Also there's a byproduct called punak. That is half of that you get a punak. So my dear friends, when you are going for this audit, go with some idea, go to the internet, check. Don't go in the normal road. When you are going for the verification, always come through the backside. See how they can make mistakes. Okay, just I have given allocation for the verification. Then I was asked to do the EPF, ETF, and so forth. Have anybody done that? No, I'll cover that and I can stop her. We'll go to the EPF, ETF and overtime and gratuity. Just I'll give some idea. Okay? EPF is Employees Provident Fund. It's according to the law, the employer have to do it. So when you go for the verification, you can separate two ways. Something is common, electricity, telephone, any of them needed. But there are some legal requirements. EPF must, ETF must, NBT must, VAT must. Those are, we have to pay to the government department. So don't have a chance or risk on that area. Carefully check that because you are answerable to another third party, very powerful party, government department. Got it? So be careful, give more concern. I'm not saying don't give concern to others. Give more concern about this. What is EPF? Anybody can help me? How much the rate you have to deduct from salary? How much? Come on, sir. 8%. Very good. 8%. 8% we have to pay. Employee have to pay. Employee. Or if the salary is 100 rupees, 8% employee will pay. Okay? Employer have to pay something. What is that? 12%. 12%. Okay? So altogether how much we are paying for the employee? 20%. Right. ETF. How much the ETF have to pay? Come on now, I like if you are calling. I really like. I will be going back. It's a happy mood if you are talking with me. No matter with a correct problem. I'm not bothering about that. 3%. ETF is 3%. That you have to recover from the employee or the employer have to pay? Employer have to pay. So what comes in the balance sheet? 8, 3, 12. Which is coming to the P&L account?
12 and 8.
Come on, loud. What is 8? 19. Oh my gosh. I am 56. Now see the gap. So you loud. Yeah. How lucky you are, huh? In the 19 you are charter school.
12% at ETF expense and 3% as ETF.
Very good. The 12% is what's spent by the organization, as you correctly say, and the 3% comes to the P&L account, not the 8%. How much? Come to this, okay, no problem.
Half of the last month's salary.
Very good. Half of the last month's salary.
Into the how many years they have.
Very good. How many years he has served? That's all. Right. If the salary is 50,000, okay, if you work, we have to count how many years, take half of it, give to him. This is something like that. There are two conditions. That employee should work more than 5 years in the organization. More than 5 years. Second is in the law, but I never practice, I never advise, but it's in the law, I have to tell you. If the employees are more than 15 in numbers, that organization only liable to pay gratuity. Very sad. If you are working in a company where only 5 stars, you are not entitled. But it's in the act. But don't go and be so adamant, you are paid gratuity, my group is not liable. Why you paid? Don't make a story like that. Let them to pay. Employees not. But that is the law. More than 15 employees should be there. He should work more than 5 years, take half of the salary, and divide in the number of years worked. 5 years means say 50,000 is the salary, half is 25. If they work for 5 years, 125 is the gratuity. Okay? Now I'll come back to the overtime. Okay, what's overtime? Only that table is talking that I am also doing against that. Fine, don't you feel bad? Come on, you can speak. What is overtime? Even single doesn't matter. 8 hours. Including lunch or excluding? Huh? Excluding. Very good point. So altogether 9 hours you are in the office. Okay, 1 hour you are going for lunch, 8 hours you are working. Right. If you are working more than that, you are entitled to overtime. So say for instance, now your salary per hour is 100 rupees, will assume like that. You are working extra 1 hour. For that extra 1 hour, how much you are getting? Salary plus? I will put the rate, you can clearly say. How much? I say 100 rupees per hour. 150. Exactly. Okay? For that extra hours you are getting 150. Right. That is overtime. I missed something. The EPF I have come back to nothing EPF. Now EPF is liable, I told for salary, no? Now is this OT is liable for EPF or not? No. You are sure? Huh? Wow, good. I like to. Huh? You are sure? See, yes, yes. Overtime is not liable for. I mean, you do not need to pay EPF on overtime. And what is? Because I am reluctant to do this session, my lawyer also listening. So in case I went wrong, the problem. Huh? Allowances? No. No. Allowances is the word stated by the employers. Whatever you are getting from the employee is liable for EPF. Even audit is also something, because the definition is very clear. The payment made of a consideration given for service rendered. So we also do the same thing. That is how it is defined. Okay. Reimbursement. I mean, you spend something on behalf of the company or the employer, you are getting back the money. Understood? That's called reimbursement, right? That is not entitled to EPF. And another one, incentive. What is incentive? Don't get misinterpretation for the incentive. Now, say for instance, your sales target is 500. If you are done for 600, what you are paying for that 600 is incentive or commission or what it is. Yes, don't above the target. Sales. Is that incentive? That's not incentive. That's not incentive. Incentive means, a very good example I can tell you, in the garment factory or in the tea industry. In the garment factory, now you have to cut the clothes, frock or something. Now, standard rate is 8 you can cut. 8 frock you can cut, or 8 shirt or something. If you go for 10, the 2 you have done something more. You are given the effort to do that. Okay, that's called incentive. Okay, in the tea industry, you are about to plus 8 kilo per day. If you are going for 10 kilos, that too is something incentive. For this incentive, you have to pay EPF. Understood? Okay, clear? So you should know EPF is not liable. I mean, the OT is not liable, reimbursement is not liable, incentive is not liable. Second, when I come to the OT, I should say if you go for an extra hour, you are getting out 50% more. But if you are working on the 4-year day, and if you are working in the mercantile holiday or the public holiday, is there any difference between this 4-year day and the mercantile holiday and the public holiday? 4-year day, 1.5. Mercantile and public, double. Keep in mind. Double, not 1.5, 2. If it is 100, you have to pay 200. And there are some restrictions. Now say you are an accountant. Okay, you are the able chartered accountant. There was a girl working in your office. Okay, now you have a deal with the foreign Canada. Night only you are getting invoice. Now you are asking her, you are the sales girl, you have to be in the night, today night you have to be with her because you are getting invoice, you have to raise the invoice and do the things. So you stay here today night, tomorrow morning you can go. Now this girl called his mama. Mama, my accountant is very young, smart boy. He wanted me to stay here today because he is going to raise the invoice at 10 o'clock. So I am coming tomorrow morning. Mama says, don't raise anything, come to work to go. Okay? Now the problem, she comes to you and says, sir, no, I won't be able to stay today. My mama says, not to stay, and she is going. Holiday morning she is coming. Now you are reporting to the MD and say, I can't bother with this girl. Ask her to leave the place. Now I am asking whether you are legally able to do that or not. Why? Is your sister is working there? Why?
the employee.
You can't sack an employee. Why? Employees to do work. If she's not willing to work, why? Why she's not? Why not to be? Whether you work or not. Of course, we are experienced. You don't have that experience. We have to tolerate. And the others. Okay? The time limit. You can't keep after 6 o'clock. Even the factory audience and all says. Okay? So the office actually are covering. So there's a special regulation when you are handling with these girls. Okay? Is there any limitation in overtime? If I go to tea factory, I have been in my experience, the factory officer comes in the morning, he can come even in the early morning, okay? He comes at 2 o'clock. And he go for lunch at 12 o'clock. And again he's coming at 1 o'clock. Again the following day, he work and the next day 1 o'clock he go. If those who have the state experience, you can see this. So if there's any limitation in the overtime, this is the this is the period you can work, above that it's not possible. If there's anything like that, there's no such limitation, but for the girls and the young girls and the ladies, there's a limitation. Okay? Without their consent, you can't do that. Okay? For the gents, there's a common sense. So how can you work just 48, 58 hours like that? Huh? It's not possible. So I'm not possible to go further, my dear friends. Your tea time is ready now. If there's any questions? If not, I simply say, this is not the rocket science, verification and this and everything. Okay? If you have interest, you can learn. That's it. If you don't have, whatever the effort has come this side, it is never going to happen. Okay? As we say, I wish you all the best. So we'll meet one day here as a mentor. Will you? Okay? Huh? Fine. Wish you good luck. Okay.
Yes, thanks, Jane. Mr. Nathan address you about the other services provided to clients.
I again, alright, don't think that I am the only chartered accountant available to all this, right? There are plenty of people. Today this is supposed to be done by a friend of mine, Mr. Kumar Siri. Unfortunately, today his wife is cooking. Otherwise he cooks. Today unfortunately his wife is cooking. So he has to be there and guide her to have a proper meal for others. So that's why he did come. So he takes me, and unfortunately I have to supervise my wife cooking at home. So I am not able. Otherwise he cooks, right? How many gentlemen know how to, somebody asked them how to prepare a plain tea yesterday, Mr. Jaranda, right? How many of you know how to cook? Gentlemen. At least you will be having good meals, right? Because the nowadays wives don't know how to cook. I understand. Right. Okay. Right. This session is talking about the other services that the accountants can provide. Right? We think only auditing is our forte. Auditing is only our assets. No. There are plenty of other assets. Fixed assets, non-current assets, current assets are there that we have to make use of. Right? Be aware. We are not doing only all this. There are other things that we can do, that we can excel. Right? We can do. So those things we are going to discuss. By having, nowadays because of the technology, you don't have to go to office. Right? You can work from anywhere. So that is what you can manage your business anytime, anywhere, anytime. Right? You want to work at 12 o'clock, you can do it. Right? Because of the technology. So that we are talking about bookkeeping and introduction to accounting. How many of them done accounting packages? Please look at hands up. Right. And we find it easy. Right? There are limitations, but comparatively easy. Right? You can do a lot of things rather than manual. So that when the technology is available, make use of it. Okay? So that is what we are going to discuss. Bookkeeping and introduction to accounting activities. For most people, bookkeeping is not a top priority. And when you go for audit, what you find is there are no information or less information because they don't keep proper thoughts. Right? So they see that it is not, but it is a must. Because even for sole proprietor, he should know where he stands. So that is, bookkeeping is a top priority, but they don't think, so that we have to inform them. You see, this bookkeeping is very important. If you have your records properly, there will be no problem. Right? So a financial accounting package keep track of an organization's financial transactions. It covers entire transactions. So the transaction is there in the machine. Anytime you must know how to retrieve, how to make use of it. At the center of such system, there are usually general ledger, right? A facility for handling accounts payable and receivable, a payroll module, and a reporting function. These are the entire important thing, because you must be having a general ledger. Actually it covers, it produces the final results, and from there you have what is happening. So the general ledger, and especially why this payable receivable is important, because company can, even without profit, the company can run for some time, but without cash flow the company can't. Right? Company crashes because of cash flow problems. Right? Without profit, company can run, but they are managing their cash. So therefore, you must know these accounts payable and receivable. You must have a very good control over that. Okay? So that these accounting packages helps you. Right? And you can do age analysis, all those things, right? And start generating reports for people who are more than 3 months, 6 months, all those things you can generate at one press of a button. So those things are available. So you can make use of it. So remember, accounts payable and accounts receivable are very important for control purposes. Introduction to accounting software will explain the main functions, benefits, limitations, and what solutions are available. They give you what it can provide you, what are the limitations they have. Accounting software is very essential for a company to understand its business performance, the financial position. What is the other word you use for financial position? Balance sheet. That is the point that is given. Right? Profit and loss account and the cash flow position at any given date. I will change the word, not any given date, at any time. Right? Morning we can have, afternoon we can have, even in the evening we have. Right? So it's any time, it's accounting packages helps us. So this is a service that we can provide to the client. Right? So these are the general one which you know, general ledger. It's not you. Right? This is the organization's main accounting book. There are records that document the complete financial transaction of business. General ledger is the one that precisely give you the questions. Everything is included there. So that is given in the accounting software. Accounts payable I spoke about. Billing. Why is big? Invoicing is your partners are why are they worried about billing? Invoice. Unless you invoice, you won't do them. So you have to do it on time. Once you do it on time only, you get the money, the cash. So the billing is very important. And it is sometimes they specifically allocate a day. On that day, all the invoices must do. Either the last date of the month or before the 5th of the next month. So this, because billing is very important. Unless you tell the people this is the amount that you have to pay us, right? That's possible. So billing is also that is nicely done by the accounting package. Stock. Stocks are important. Why we work out stock turnover ratio? The more the stocks turnover, the more cash flow comes. So you have to have control over the stocks because the money is tied up there, right? Even if you take a working capital, within the working capital there is a fixed amount. Always the fixed capital is there. So therefore, money is tied up in stock. And if you don't dispose it, there are new things coming in. Right? New stocks coming in. So if these stocks become obsolete, people won't buy them. So therefore, you have to have a stock, and specifically it says you have heard about shelf life. Shelf life means how many days a stock is there in the shelf. Right? It must be at a very short life. I mean, once you put it there, stock will move. So with that, accounting packages help you to find out what is the age of the stock was. That you can include. Right? When you are talking with the software providers, you can include these features so that your accounting system becomes very healthy. Purchase order, sales order, these are all automatically done. You don't have to depend on people. It is done automatically, and your task is to only dispatch. These are the types of packages we have, right? In Sri Lanka, these are the packages, right? How many of you have done any one of these accounting packages? Right, good. Anyone who has done with QuickBooks? Mostly Sri Lanka we use QuickBooks. There is a Sage also. So these are the types of accounting packages available in Sri Lanka. Generate and cost-wise it reduces time, and automatic document production. By press of a button you get all the invoices printed. So you don't have to, it's automatic one. Right? And accuracy is very accurate, right? Because the calculation done in the machine, right, it produces the accurate, so no one can dispute the invoice. Because the machine done, not the manual work, it's done by machine. Up-to-date information. As I said, it's not a date-wise, even a time-wise you can have it. Right? Morning one, afternoon one, evening one. Right? So this kind of facilities are available in the accounting packages. And availability of information. As I said, stock turnover ratio. Right? What is the age of the stock? What is the age? Analysis of age, data. How many months they have not paid, how many days they have taken more than what that we have given. The red box will appear. So you can have those features in the accounting packages before you put it. Right? These are the additional features that they are more than manual work. So it's easy to do that. Right? And there is efficiency. What is the difference between effectiveness and the efficiency? Effective is doing right things. Efficient is doing things right. Right? So the efficient one is not the right, doing things right. Right? So these are the basics. Time factor, cost savings, and trust, and compliance. Right? On time we can do for these features. Okay, reporting is on time, online, right? Then and there you can generate the reports, and you don't have to sit and write. It's already, if you have input, it already generates. What is the legibility? Legibility. Some people's handwriting you can't read. Sometimes your handwriting also you can't read. Right? It happens to me sometimes. Somebody else can read. Right? This is already printed. So it is anybody can read and understand. Okay? Yes. What are the limitations? Everything has a limitation. Right? We can speak about these very good, but there are some limitations is there. Sometimes a normal firm, a small firm can't afford this cost. Where this cost is fairly high, right? So you have to get a loan or whatever. So this is a cost wise also. This is a limitation. Other one is fraud. Sometimes fraud can happen, right? It is in Sri Lanka, we might have heard about the VAT fraud. It is actually how it has happened is some sort of software changes they have done it, right? So fraud can happen. And implementation. Manual accounts are easy to set up, right? You buy the books and start writing. But here it is not so, because you have to find out what are the needs. Now those things, implementation. Manual accounts are generally easy to set up and can be more flexible than computers. You want to make changes, difficult, no? Computer. Then you have to start from the beginning and a lot of things have to be done. Any changes, additions or deletions. It takes time. So that is one limitation. That is why before you go into the accounting packages, you have to tell them what are your needs. Your needs different. If you take a sole proprietor is doing trading, different. Services, different. So they have to tell what are their needs. Right? Supermarket like what is the main thing they look for? Stock control. Right? They must know before the stock goes out, they can't have a stock out situation. Right? So they know the reorder level, reorder quantity, those things they have to include in the packages. Otherwise they are pointers having an output. Right? Before the stock goes out, they must have a stock view and must know the order quantity also. So a reorder level, reorder time, sometimes it takes the imports takes time, all those stuff. Those things can be incorporated in the accounting packages before. So once you don't do it, the problem is there. But anyway, in between you have to change, the problem is a limitation. Here, yearly maintenance and support, sometimes they change, right? For that also you have to additionally pay. So those things are limitations. QuickBooks. Right? I am not a supporter of QuickBooks didn't pay me to do this, right? Because it is not 5% my credit percentage. We have talked about QuickBooks have what are the benefits they have, right? QuickBooks easy to use and custom oriented. QuickBooks can help you to manage your tax plan easily. Filling in tax reports and monitoring income has never been easier. By using the software, you will not have to worry about your tax report. You will make correctly on tax. I mean, I have done that on online submissions at office. Try it. No. Try that test. Right. Yesterday I gave you a website. Right. From tomorrow or today onwards, just go to the England website and see. So they are giving a lot of advices. You can learn from them. Okay. So in time to come, there will be online submission. There will be no manual submission. So you have to know how to do VAT returns, NBT, income tax, everything will be in online submission. So that, okay. So then you are technologically you must be oriented to do that work. Hereafter there will be no manual. So you have to prepare yourself navicha. Right? This is what they have given in the QuickBooks. I don't want to go through you. Yes, it's difficult for the people who are seated, difficult to see. Right? And QuickBooks just, you can see this is the network they have. How does it happen? Home page of QuickBooks system. How the things are integrated and how the things are developed. The input, how it goes, what are the reports it generates, all the things are there. So these are some chart of accounts, we call it chart of accounts. The title of the accounts, but right? More or less these are the ledger pages. Right? They have different names, but see for all, same as general ledger. Okay, they call it chart of accounts. This is accounting packages. Unless you go into that and experience yourself, right, you will not know. So therefore, get a chance when you get an opportunity to try. When you go to branch basis, try it, right? How the QuickBooks works, all this. Sorry, any question on the accounting packages? I think you won't ask, because I will. Oh, right. Can a chartered accountant be a company secretary? Is there a qualification needed for a company secretary? Certain restrictions are there, certain, that is Company Act says for a company of a different nature or very high profile company, you have to have a qualified secretary. Right? A chartered accountant, once you become a chartered accountant, you are automatically a qualified secretary, right? Like law. Yesterday I was talking about taxation, I spoke about date. So what is the most important date I spoke about? Anybody remember? Tax payment, I spoke about a day. A day, very important. 15th of August, right? Likewise, for company also, these dates are important. Preparation and certification of financial statements within 6 months. For such extended period as determined by the registrar. Right? There's a gentleman called, or gentlewoman called company, registrar of companies. He is the one who registers all the companies. Companies have to go and register it himself. So he has a register. Right? So he registers there, therefore he calls registrar. The company has to become a company, they have to submit some documents and get themselves registered as a company. They have to get the consent of the directors, consent of the secretary for the seats, and they have to submit articles of association. Earlier there was something called memorandum of association. You have taken off, you have to only do articles of association. You don't have to prepare an article of association, and company law, company act itself, there is an article. So you can just say we are following that more than here. So company secretary work is very easy. Right? And it is preparation and certification of financial statements, certified and signed, certified by the person responsible for preparing the financial statement, signed by the directors. How many of you have gone through the annual reports? Right? When you get a chance, collect those people, right? And see them. Right? Annual reports give a lot of information. And finally you find the balance sheet, two people, the person signs, CFO signs. Right? The CFO signs, the Chief Financial Officer signs that he accepts the responsibility, and that is also countersigned by two directors. Right? That is important. Can a company have only one director? Yes, nowadays we can have one director company also there. And these two directors, they say, for some other big companies normally have a number of directors, right? But we can have one director as well. So that certified and signed. Lodging of financial statement and auditor's report within registrar. Register General of Companies, section private companies unless required by the right. The public limited companies have to give the auditor reports. The must, right, not the private company, but the registrar has the power to ask them to submit the financial statement. Within 20 working days after the financial statement returned to the sign. Section 171. This section, please note it. These out of the company, these sections are important. So when you have time, right, read this section, and I advise you to have, you must be having a note on your own, right? These things you collect under the company act and write it down, because that will be a good manual in time to come when you go for audit. Right? Like taxation, you have a page for taxation, you write it there, and you get paper cutting and file it in your box file. Those is anything on, right? Very important. This information collection is important because we are trying on information, right? And because from the information we are able to make decisions. Others get the information. We can make decision on that. So therefore, before to make the decisions, we have to have information. So whenever you get information, please start building up those data on your own. I take annual report, paper cuttings, right? Website printouts. So those is start doing it. Okay. Copies to be certified by two directors or a director and a secretary. Right? Is payable fees and all they are given. Right? So remember, within 20 days. The dates are important. So, where we go wrong is when we are not doing on time. So, remember that is why 15th August is important. If you don't analyze your plan, that is the blame comes to you. You don't submit the tax return by 30th November, and people wait for the last day to then you can't upload because already overcrowded. So then the people are running from Patna to submit the. So because you waited for the last, don't do that, right? Start now itself. Even studying also start now itself. Now we wait for the auspicious day to get the study. But when you are studying, part of us because the audit has come. So therefore, start now itself. Always start early. Early birds catch the birds. Easy. Right. Auditor's report. Yes, yesterday Gerard was talking about what is auditor report, right? And talking about the opinion, right? He is also, section 163. These are sections, it's very important for us. Whereas people who are dealing with the accounts, company act, these are the sections, so remember these sections, right? And these are the areas the examiners also question specifically. So better note in that. Right, 170, 163, all this. Annual report. And we have annual report compulsion also because annual report gives the information to the general public for them it means. So it must be made correct one, accurate one, and must still induce the clients or the customers or the shareholders to invest. So it must be very correct, right? And induce them also. By the vote, it is 6 months from the balance sheet date. Section noted down, 166. Right? And signed by 2 directors. Actually, one director, right? To include entries in the interest register and the 30% as mentioned. What is interest charges? The company's liabilities are called interest. The interest they have to pay must be recorded with the register of company. Why? A person who wants to invest must know what are the liabilities that company has. So that is a must information that should be given to the general public or interested. Group financial statement. Who has to prepare the group finance? The holding company, subsidiaries, right, associate company, and they have their company. There are some asked to prepare the group financial accounts, right? Each subsidiary account must be given. And the group financial statement is a must. You must have it in the annual report. So my sincere advice is even old annual report try to get it, right? And just put what are the things they are mentioned. CFO signed, group director signed, right? Auditor's report, right? The vision of the company, how they are performed earlier, what are the market conditions, all those things are. You can learn from them. If you take an annual report of a hotel, right? They will say what are the tourist climate now, right? What will happen in future? What are their plans? What is the economic view regarding the tourism? What are the tax incentives? Everything is there, right? It is a very precise document. You will learn from that. So try to collect annual report. Even old one, it doesn't matter. Right? AGA, annual general meeting. Right? The other shareholders actually come and speak, or they get the information from the board of management. Right? It is once in each calendar year. One calendar year they have to have at least one AG. Right? If they postpone it, they have to get the permission. Not later than 6 months after the balance sheet. So you have to, these are must. These are all mandatory requirements. The law says that you have to do. Right? And not less than 15 months after the 3 years AG. So they are between 2 AGM you can't have more than 15 months. Between the last AGM, before 15 months of the last AGM you have to have it. It's a must. Otherwise, registered company has taken it. The directors have failed in their duty. And you will be asking, the examiner might be asked, what are the directors' liabilities? You can say this one. They have to ensure that there can't be a 15-month difference between, more than 15-month difference between two entities. That is directors' liability. In other words. What is notice? The AGM, as shareholders, you have to send a notice to them, and notice must be you must give sufficient time for them to do so that is 15 days of all types of companies. Minimum of 2 weeks. Right? Minimum of 2 weeks. You can have more, but you can't leave a notice. Your date must be, you can read them later, but date must be, they're 15 days. Before you have to date the notice before 15 days of the meeting. To be sent to the auditors also. So we have the right to appear. Can auditor appear in the AGM? Yes, right? Even if you are not called, he has the right. Right? Because he has a public duty to inform the shareholders. Right? There is no necessity for the company to call him. As long as his auditor is more or less given, empowered by the company law for him to attend the AGM. But normally the company sends, because company wants him to come and explain what is there in the accounts. Right? So generally they send the invitation. The articles of association is articles provided for a longer notice. Sometimes article provides longer period, so that can be accepted. Manner of services is provided for an article in the absence of such permissions. Okay. Article 39 of model articles. Know these sections, because that will help you in the other corporate level exams also. Right? When you do the audit also, these sections, if you know these sections more than enough. So therefore, better to know these sections. So if I go to explain, there will be another issue. Correct? So I ensure maybe to send this presentation to you. Right? I don't know whether it's copyright reserved to my credit or not to me. This is how statutory limitation of time, examples of last dates, and what other actions that you have to do. Correct. Okay, the presentation. A company must take, right, its name and all business letters, company numbers. Company numbers are some PV or something, but they have to, it's a must. As a company, company is a separate legal person than the shareholder. So you must identify him that you give a national identity card. That is the registration number. So therefore he has to mention wherever he goes, yes, I am a registered person, my number is, and the name also. Okay? That is a must. All notices and other official publications of the company. Whenever a company puts up any publication, it is a must. They have to state two things. One is the name and the company number, registered number. All ways of exchange. So what are things that they are things that they have to state in the name? Bills of exchange, invoices, other documents, company seal. Right? Actually, they say if any means, I think it's necessary. They should have specific statement of the public company. Even private company they should have. Right? Because without seal, anyone can sign. So they have to stamping, sealing is actually authorized. The person who has signed is being authorized by the seal. So company should have. Every company should ensure that the name, company number appear in the registered office. Right? In the registered office, they have to have this display. At what time I will stop? 11. 11 o'clock in the evening or not? It's very late. Right? sorry, lot of information, right? What to do, overdose. Spoke about, there is a file search we can do because as a verifiable at this level like time permission, permitted is not able to do, so I do that and stuff, right? Other common services, these are services other audit firm can do than the only audits and bookkeeping. Bookkeeping, payroll processing, payroll. You do the clients, right? Payroll work. All information you are preparing salaries, right? You do all the calculations, EPS, EPF, deductions, allowances, all those things, and ultimately what the tax payable, pay tax, all those things are ultimately what is the amount to be paid, you do that and give to them. And sometimes you do the bank transaction also to their account. So that services can be done by an audit firm. Holding of power of attorney. Power of attorney means you hold the right of some of your clients. They are not in Sri Lanka. So they have given you the power to work, to perform certain work on behalf of you. Right? Bank transactions, sometimes collecting rent, all those things, paying certain things, and you are getting a fee. So that is holding power of attorney. You have the power to stand in their shoes and do work. Acting as a tax agent that normally we do. Right? We are the tax agent, we do the tax computation for the tax computation and submission for the work, filing of tax returns. I mean, if you have gone to income tax department, a good place to go. Right? Good place to go in, good place to come out of. Do those things, because those things you have to learn, right? You have to go and see what is happening, how it is happening, right? Those things are important because sometimes you have to represent, you have to go with the client and meet the tax officer, right? Tax assistant commissioner or the commissioner to do we ask queries and you have taken the audit file and you have to answer. So these things you must, that's why I say any problem is an opportunity. Make use of it. Okay? Due diligence. What is due diligence? This is another very good money collecting exercise. You can get a good fee. Right? Assume company A wants to buy company B. Right? Company A wants to buy company B. The company A asks you to do the due diligence. It is not an audit. More than the audit. Because you go and assess the actual position of the company B. That is due diligence. More than audit. So you take the balance sheet, right? Each item, check. Sometimes you go for the valuation of the landlords. You go for the valuation of the machinery. Right? You go for the valuation of all the assets. You go to the department, tax department, and get to what is their liability, what are the problems, but what are the issues standing. Sometimes appeals are outstanding, but they have to pay a lot of taxes. It is not reflected into that. So you due diligence is what is the actual position of the company, whether it is beneficial for the company to buy A, buy B, buy company A. So it is more than the audit, right? Due diligence is we don't do sample checks, right? We go to the deep and find out what is the value. So we are not valuers. So you ask for the valuation, people who can value, right? You check their qualifications. They don't go for their, so those things are there. So the balance sheet value and the actual value differs, right? So you do the due diligence work and tell the company A, it is better to buy this. So that position is completely different from this balance sheet. It's not an audit at all. Audit you do a lot of risk analysis, all those things you do. Here no, you can't. You have to find out whether in future if the company A buys B, whether that is a value addition. So the diligence is a different work. And it's very good work also. You learn a lot. But it's not merely auditing. You go to the tax department, you go to the register of companies and see whether annual returns are submitted on time. Otherwise, there is garbage. Right? Sometimes you check check all the account receivables, data. Right? Age and census, whether they are bankrupt, whether you can get the provision is enough, whether write-off is necessary, all those things. It's very interesting area to deal with. Right? Data entry work we just discussed. Staff second is for the client you supply the staff. They go and work 8 to 5 or those times. But your staff works there. That is staff second. And physical verification of fixed assets and current assets. Sometimes these also are done. Sometimes the company does not have fixed asset list. Remember, when you are doing audit, one way of checking is this fixed asset list. They should have, and you can, a lot of information can be given. And the value of those things, you must ensure that is reflected in the financial statement. Right? Some companies, they employ audit firms to do their only do the fixed asset list. Right? Whether all fixed assets are actually in the register, whether they are recorded properly. The values are given properly. So that is a separate exercise. Then issuing certificate accounts that we normally do, that is not only the audit work, right? It is separate. Sometimes the directors, daughter or son won't go abroad. Right? Then the embassy asks whether that account is correct. And they want a chartered accountant to certify. You can charter. So that is called, it's not an audited account, it's a certified account. Sometimes they may ask you to give their assets and liabilities. Right? You certify. You go to you take the bank accounts, you check all those things, all the amount is correct, liabilities, right? The president value for those. So those work also we can do. So I have stopped at 11 a.m. not p.m. Right? Any questions? So this what I want to emphasize is, right? When you become a chartered accountant, right? It is always a gold mine. And you are not looked at. You are looked up. So when you are looked up, when you are up here, right, you have to have more information, more way of. So that is why we spoke about effective communication, role of a train, right? All these things are completely the different parts of your body. So then when the whole body comes, every part is working together. Right? You become a complete first, then you do a thought. Right? So I wish you make your parents proud, make your relatives proud, make your friends proud, right? Make your firm proud, right? By being a different person. That's why I said, people who are successful people. Anybody remembers what I said yesterday? Successful people don't do different things. Successful people don't do different things. They do things differently. To do things differently, you have to update yourself. Right? This is an opportunity. Thank you, Sophie. Right? And my sincere wish to see you, members of this institute, as soon as possible. Thank you.
Now it's time for the speaker, President of Kerala, Thomas Ilushan, to address you.
And she is signed by you all. I'll be calling out names. And just to recall what we were just discussing yesterday, would someone like to say anything of the importance of communication, or why communication or leadership skills is important? Anyone like to volunteer? And the topic for today's round-robin session will be life at audit firm. Okay? So until we warm up the audience, get ready for the topic. The topic is life at audit firm. So you can talk about how good your work is, how good your bosses are, and how they make you feel comfortable, valued. The good bosses. And also you can talk about the horrible bosses also, if you have any. Okay? So keep in mind the topic. The topic is life at audit firm, and each one of you have 30 seconds to speak on the topic. Okay? stop your speech or conclude your speech with the playlist start. Okay? So again, keep the topic in mind. Life at audit firm. You can share anything you want, nothing controversial, of course you can just lay any about or anything. But some good experience about being part of your audit firm. Okay? So until then, would anybody like to share one or two points from what we discussed yesterday? Anyone would like to volunteer? Yes, sir. You would like to speak. Okay. Is there anything, right? Yeah, would you like to directly on what we discussed yesterday on communication? What we discussed yesterday.
Yesterday we studied what is the government, what do is car, and we all are introduced the club, and we get a good knowledge about government. It is very important for our future and our little language.
Thank you. Okay, so moving on to the round robin session. So, as I said, the topic for today is life at audit firm. Okay, so say all the good thing about the audit firm, and if you have any bad thing to say about your audit firm, say it, but don't tell the name of your firm. Okay, and Disanaika, PhD Disanaika.
Thank you for giving me the chance. When I talk about my audit firm, it's a good firm, and I got more knowledge from it, and I got knowledge of taxation and auditing and bookkeeping, and as well as getting into the account software. So I learned a lot of things, and when I talk about myself of audit firm, he's a very good person.
Thank you. Let's give a big round of applause.
First of all, I would like to thank to give this opportunity on speech of our firm. Actually, this is also a good opportunity for us to say something about audit firm and the members in audit firm and my friends. They are actually audit firm help us a lot because there are a lot of things we can learn from the audit firm, from the bookkeeping. Commencement is about bookkeeping, then auditing, taxation. All these are important to do the day-to-day activities for us. And I think audit firm provide very good services for all the students that registered CA or AAT or any qualification to fulfill their future. And I take the opportunity to give a very thank to our audit firm members to attend to this type of program. Thank you.
Thank you. Silva, KJH Silva.
I'm working at National Audit Office. My staffs are very helpful when I work and make the problem. They help me.
Thank you. All the way from Candy, and I think they also need a chance. Senaviratna, KMSC.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sonali Singh from Candy. I joined my firm on last October. I met a lot of sisters and brothers. They helped me a lot to complete my training. It needed time, but I learned more from my firm. Especially, I must thank my supervisor member. He helped me lots to improve my knowledge. So, thankful.
Not thrown out by your bosses and to share all the funny memories you have. And the next person is Kumara, SHACP Kumara.
Okay, we are Silva, Gurban. I'd like to thank you for you to give this opportunity to address the hearing. And I would like to say about my firm. Our partner is as a good member of this institute, and he gave us the opportunity to
Ishani, HAM Ishani.
I would like to thank for this opportunity. Actually, I'm happy to say my firm is a good firm, and I learned a lot of things in this firm. I met lot of many friends in our firm. Our boss is a very good person, and he helped me lot of. Thank you.
I am from Consultant Consortium. I can improve my communication skills from my platform, and also I can improve my leadership skills also. Thank you for this opportunity, sir. Build up my future in my audit firm. Thank you.
Sure. So you can just call me Thomas. And the next person, Nandasena.
I have joined for my audit firms about 6 months. It was a small period. I have learned many things from that about auditing and how I make relationship with people when I visit for other companies.
Thank you so much for welcoming me. I'm from Engineer Company. My firm is very good. I met so much new friends and also knowledge about taxation and auditing and assurance. Also how to deal with clients and trainings also.
Thank you.
Thanks to these terms. I'd like to tell about my firm here. First of all, I'd like to tell about my boss here. He is very good person and help with us and friendly type. He's teaching me more information. Every weekly one day he teaches us each topic in this audit field. And my seniors also good persons. He is a very help for me, very help to me in develop my knowledge.
Thank you. Thank you. And one more nice boss. Yeah.
Good morning. My firm is firm, and I have been working for 9 months, and I have developed good knowledge from it. I practical use I have got the theory knowledge. I will build my future and my ambition for.
Thank you.
I joined the audit firm last week. Actually, I don't know what is the audit firm, but I joined last week.
Thank you. Next, can we have Iresha?
I was certified in specialist. I joined in this firm in a short period, but I learned lots of things, and I think my training period successfully completed joining the firm, and my supervisors, partners and managers are very knowledgeable people, and I think I learned lots of things to them, and my firm is a very good firm, I think.
Thank you. S.R. Gunawardana.
Everybody, I would like to take this opportunity to share some information about my audit firm and my personal experience. 2 years back, I joined audit firm as a permanent employer, and after that, the same time I have done the taxation course. And after completing my CA tax advisor course, I decided to start my CA exams. So during that time, I gained a lot of knowledge about the theoretical knowledge as well as practical knowledge in the audit firm. Thank you very much for the you.
I am Sarnas. I am working in National Auditories. First of all, I would like to thank this opportunity to me, say something about my audit firm. Before I go to audit firm, I don't know about the practical experience regarding the auditor, such as taxation field also. After that, I am going to the market sector, and especially in public sector. I learned a lot of something about taxation, audit, finance management, and IT regarding the practical and theoretical also. And also, I was always guiding me when I am struggling facing in difficult situation. And also, I am is very best for me in cross opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Munshi from MSN Indian company. I have been working there for 1 year, and I think my boss is the best one, and he's very friendly with us, and I think I have got the best firm.
Thank you. Thank you, and we have one good firm to a best firm here.
From Jaipur, I am working on Indian partners. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank our partner. Because of him, I am here with you all. So I thank. He was very much supporting us. He was treating me not a staff. He is treating like us children. So he was very supporting us, and his guidance and his advice to help us to make ourselves in another. So thank you.
Thank you. Another one.
Good morning to all. He's not a horrible boss. And first of all, I went to audit firm on November 25th. That was my first day. And I began to think it was like, we should know everything, do everything and all. But our sir said, you should make mistakes to study. So maybe I'm doing mistakes since now. And my colleagues, they are very much supportive and friendly. And they were there at my bad times because they are the one causing it. And I'm happy somehow. At my firm, I learned many things, not only the accounts. I experienced more than that. How to communicate with others, how to lead others, and that is a very much opportunity where you can't get it from a big four firms too. It's more than that. You can work on not only one sector, you can jump from one to another and work in different environment, and you can get a different source of experience. So I thank my principal consultant and my colleagues for that too. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you for sharing. Except Mukunda holidays, more knowledge to be grabbed, and at the same time you have to be patience when you get scolded from seniors and the partners, and more enjoyment when you go to the exam place. Thank you.
First time, thank you for the reception day. I'm Sasmini, I'm from Goal. I was at TNT Associate. I would like to talk about my first day at Odisha. I'm so scared this day because I don't know any work, or I don't know any person. But my senior is so helpful this day. My supervisor member is so honest, and also myself is a very good boss. I like to thankful my boss because of he is helpful my future, and my supervisor members are thankful. My auditor life is so I face the different opportunities because work is very difficult because of I don't know anything, and my seniors and my juniors are so helpful in my my work. Thank you.
Thomas. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Gerard Dias, Senior Manager, Audit and Assurance of BDO Partners, to deliver the next session on Introduction to Internal Audit.
Also, I want to improve my English knowledge. The writing, spoken English, and reading. Of course, everyone here, at least you here, after completing your A-levels. I am saying at least after A-levels because nowadays things are getting changed and it's very fast. People who complete A-levels yesterday, today come and join in audit firms. That is a good sign because at the early stage they want to get into the practical work. They want to see the work and learn something. No, that's a good trait. But of course, up to A level or up to maybe university level, you have seen some, you have gone through some English, maybe at school, maybe English classes, or maybe university lectures. But I have my own story, I definitely share. But everyone, including the one who delivered a speech, that's how we need to have a round of applause to her because in Sri Lanka we must change, and I believe we are changing. In Sri Lanka, the typical signal is we know that we find difficult to speak English, and it's not my problem, it's everyone's problem. But if someone tries to stand and speak, others look at, oh, look here, she can't speak very well, she can't manage her English. But everyone has the same problem. So ultimately what will happen, we all get discouraged. We don't want to stand up and speak because you feel uncomfortable what others thinking about me. So don't go to that level, that is negative thinking if someone is thinking like that. And that's a negative energy that you are developing within you which distracts you to improve your English. So that's why she deserves a round of applause because she wants to stand up and speak, and I believe throughout the session maybe some other also try to speak, right? So let me share before we get into the today's session. Let me share my story. Actually, I was doing one other day, not for you but advanced people. I was doing one particular IFRS session. There I shared a little bit about my English, how I came to this level. And after session, one of my good friends, I mean they are in commercial, and he came to me and asked, friend, can you tell me where you went to learn English, because I want to recommend for my staff. See, that's a good thought that he wants his staff to go for English class. And the other thing that he felt like, okay, I had a good experience learning English, right? To tell you about my English, worse than you. Surely worse than you. How many of you attend to you will get an English paper in O-levels, right? In your O-levels you will get an English paper. How many of you attend for the essay in O-level paper? O-level English paper essay. How many of you tried essay the O-level paper essay? See, almost all has done in English. O-level English paper essay in English. Yes, right. See, you will laugh, yeah, because there is a funny story. So, I did my O-levels in 1997. Yeah, I sat for the English paper because, not because I like it, but because it is there, no? At least you need to get a C. Those days we got D, C and then F. But you got A now, right? O-levels we got A now, no? Yeah. So I got 5 D's and 3 C's. I don't know where this C came for English, because if you know my story about English O-level, so the essay, because everything else you can do something, either underline or pick and choose or something. Essay came there, you have to write something. But a person who doesn't know, at least, like we say, I go to school. The person who don't know why they are saying I go to school, he can say I school go. I go to school again. Don't you think he can say I school go? Samarin ඒක වැරදිනේ. ඒක නෙමෙයි කියන්නේ. ඉතින් ඒක එහෙම කියන්නේ නැතුව මෙහෙම කියන්නේ ඒකවත් දන්නේ නැතුව ඉංග්‍රීසි කියන්න දැනගන්න පුළුවන්. If I ask from you why you are saying I go to school, I school go කියන්නේ නැතුව, I'm sure 90%, maybe 95% you won't give me an answer. You may say I go to school correct, but you don't know why it is correct. What again? Tell me again. I doubt you know why it is I go to school. Any volunteers who like to explain me why it is I go to school, not I school go? Any volunteers? Any volunteers? I learned that the lesson in year 2000. That means I am 19, just after year. When you first time here, I go to school. When? Huh? When you first time here, I go to school in a sentence in the first time, how to see them? All of that. I go to school in the first time how? Huh? Grade 6. I go to school in grade 8. I go to school only grade 5, okay. Grade 5 grade 6 right? So you first time you heard I go to school in grade 5. Grade 5 means 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? That is A level. Right? 13, right? So grade 5 I go to school, you can think if you have learned in grade 5, definitely I should have learned in grade 5, maybe below, maybe nursery, I don't know, because I don't know. Right? So even after A level, I don't know why it is I go to school. It could be I school go. I know. Any volunteers who like to explain me why it is I go to school, not I school go? Any volunteers who like to take that challenge? Okay. So in my oral paper, I really want to share this yesterday. Thanks that girl, like, she reminds me that I must share my story painting, because that's another challenge that you have. Either you go out from CA, you need English, right? You need English, right? You need English, and the most respectable one of the pharaohs, late pharaoh, which we all respect, I'm a Roman Catholic, Gangodevila Soma pharaoh. Like, long years ago, කිව්වා දැන් ඉන්න ඕනම රිලිජියස් නායකයෙක් කියේ මම කියන්නේ why I'm saying මේ රිලිජියස් නායකයෙක් වෙනම සයිට් එකකදී but they also say it is important. Long time ago, maybe 10-15 years ago, ගාල්ලෝවිල සෝමතේන පුවත් සිංහලයා අමාරු වෙටනවා කියලා ඉංග්‍රීසි දැනගත්ත නැත්නම්. So we are kind of experiencing now, right? Do you think if you don't know English, you can go and confidently face an interview? පුළුවන් ඉන්ටර්වියු එකක් face කරන්න ඉංග්‍රීසි එකක් දන්නේ නැත්නම්. ඒක දැනගන්න නේ. So my O level 1997 essay එක තිබ්බා. Topics මට මතක නැහැ. Maybe I can't remember the topic, so I don't know what are topics. I like to say I don't remember topics because බොරුවට essay වෙන්න ඕනේ නේ. So one topic was Lord Buddha. Essay එක කියනවා Lord Buddha. Nowadays you know that your mobile phone SMS යනවා නේද? සිංහල SMS නේ WhatsApp එකේ සිංහල යන ඉංග්‍රීසි. Mobile phone, you are sending SMS, but English letters. The person reading is single. They know the thing. Letters English, but single message is the So, now Katti one English spelling tamai all over the say here. Mallu is single. Mallu is single. We can take my older paper, you can see it. And there, it's English letters. I don't know how my teacher read it. Right? It's English letters. Budwamuru, Kudure, Sakmasi. Budwamuru, VU. I'm very smart. Right? So that is my English. So you can understand what is my English in 1997. Right? So A-level we had English paper. A-level A-level we had 50 in our class. And periods class English paper clearly. Not because we like to learn English, teach them that. So everyone is in the 50 class 50 mean English period. Right? So that means we can learn English in A-level. So after A-level 2000, I want to learn English. As you know, you can see for you also after A-level. So even now you can see like A-level. The letters say, I don't know what's the guy, Mamu Ganana, Hayogana, Das Kunigana, Masin, right? So wherever you go, you learn English. You might have gone to classes to learn English. How the English class is single in English? Uganda is single in English. No, seriously, I want to pass a message. I believe 99% of you, maybe 100%, have gone to English classes. Agree there? Right? So, English class is single in English. You can class that's why you still struggling. If you are struggling to learn English, why you are struggling still not you feel like you can't speak English? One reason, English class, English is one English class. English is one English class. I don't know, like those days textbooks, simple sentence subject plus predicate. Subject is predicate done. None predicate done. So English done at time. I don't want to say like people have gone and they improve, but English don't get done at time. Person like me will take example. And then I go to school 10 8 I school go to work, I go to school work, I English class English right? So in 2000 I made a class. I will click the English class. I will click the paper Mama G English class. Right? In 2000 I found a teacher which I already still respect because he put the foundation for my English. Today 2020, after 20 years, I still want to remind him and share his name also with you because he has changed my world of English. He teach me the second day itself, he teach me that you can write any sentence and you can tell anyone how this sentence write that way. I go to school, I go to school, then I can explain the second day in the class. So, improvement right. So, year 2000 I went for an English class which was in Ubegoda. Maybe you might have heard, maybe you were there. A person called Narada Jinasen, right? So, he's still doing classes and this February starting in Godala, Tilakavardhana. I really want to pass the message, not to market, but not to go there. But I want to pass the message that we all struggle with English, so we must do something. Agree there? Right. So my topic is internal audit and internal control, but being a responsible member of this institute, I must share this message, and I must also support you the way I can to improve your English, because nothing will work if you don't know to speak English. You don't know to talk in front of people, write something in English. Talk to people and write something in English. No point you become a member tomorrow if you don't know that part. I know that 100% you agree, because you are very mature people, right? You understand that. So year 2000 I went for classes, and then 2000 I went for classes that I learned English. Then 2002 I started my chartered intermediate. I decided I will go for English medium IAS, and the first day I'm following the lecture. He is talking English. යාගේ වචන අල්ලගෙන කොහොමද ලෙසන් එක ගන්න උත්සාහ කරනවා. මේ වචනයක් දෙයක් කියනවා ලෙසන් එකේ ඉන්නේ නැහැ. Then I said, my friend, look here, my son, it's not work. You go to the single medium class. Right? Yeah, I learned some English, but learning English and sitting on chartered English medium class or sitting on the university lecture and try to learn, that's different, right? University is totally different. I realized university English medium and exam and nothing here. That's nothing anyway. I'll tell you why. Because the university lecturer has the regular notes which will never change, right? You take a copy of lecture notes from someone else and you try to do some parrot, or you try to get some support from the friends and do some past papers. Eventually you can get to it, guaranteed, right? But not chartered and these tutorials. Like the first day I got the tute and I went home serious though. I got the Malasekara dictionary. දැන් ටියුබ් එකේ කියවන්න බලනවා. පළවෙනි වචනේ තියෙනවා, දෙවෙනි වචනේ තියෙනවා. ආයෙ බලන ඩික්ෂනරි. වචනේ අමුණම කවුද වෙනවා මොකද ස්ටඩි කරන්නේ. Right. So I get through the exam in single medium, and then chartered final one. That is mandatory English, no way out. Right? So chartered first time English medium I did. I had never failed any exam. I don't know my grade 5. I don't care about that. I failed my grade 5, but I don't care. Chartered final one, I got 3 E's and 1 F. Yeah, 3 E's and 1 F. 3 fails and 1 bad fail. Right? So that is English medium. So you can. It's not about my knowledge. It's my knowledge about writing English and understanding English. Understand? So still have a problem. Can talk. I went for classes 2000, can talk and write something, but not something advanced like chartered. To understand those notes and write something in advance. I go to school and then chartered final one paper again in class, and then that's a different thing. So then I joined 2004 Ernst & Young. I was there for 10 years. Now I'm in video. So still interview managed kara half an hour. But still, within inside, you know, you got friends in EY or B3, even those are English-oriented places. Affiliating Sinhala තමයි කතා කරන්නේ. That is nothing to do with the firm. That is something to do something wrong with us. We start talking in Sinhala because there are problems here. Bye. Nah, kita kata no matru lagi, mak kata adalah sautin ni deh. Ikut yang mana? I don't know. Ikut yang kita Sinhala kata. Then 2004, after some 5-6 months completed, I was assigned to a 3-month audit in Dilma Group, where the manager is Tamil. He doesn't know anything about Sinhala. He's Tamil. I must speak Tamil or English, right? And we got another girl. She's from UK. She's good. Anyone likes to be friends with her. So I also want to be a friend. So you find opportunities how you improve your English. I'm just telling you. So I have a problem with practical English, right? Even I managed to go to classes. So I had to deal with my manager in English, and I want to be friends with that friend. So we in the same cabin. So I start talking English because they don't feel like we are embarrassing situation because she's from somewhere. She doesn't have that attitude. Typical Sri Lankan attitude that okay, this person is trying to speak English, he doesn't know me. Nah. She wants to get engaged and build a network and be friend. That's her motive. My motive is to talk and be friend. That's true, but also improve my English. Right? So eventually I got some secondment to Saudi Arabia for 8 months. So can you find Sinhala? Either Arabic or Hindi or English. Arabic? Not at all. Hindi, something, but you have to work in majority English, so 8 months English course is available. I have to talk. Right? I can talk to my friends Sinhala, but those people in the finance team or the company have to speak English. So those opportunities, I went through those opportunities and I improved, and I want to come forward and do presentations. Somewhere 2006, 2007, I think I first time asked from my HR in Mumbai that I like to do lecturing, and she said, okay, need time. Then only I realized until you become a kind of a assistant manager or manager, they won't give you lecturing because you have that competence also. So you can see today, I have no problem at all standing here and talk to you. And you have a problem whether I can come forward and talk. I had that problem in the past. So I invite you, find a way to improve your English, and please, if someone asks you to come forward and talk, please come forward and talk. And also, don't stop there. If someone asks you to talk, say, example, now she stand and talk. That's good. Wala kata guna stand na ඊට වඩා confidence එකක් අවශ්‍යයි. But that's much more better if she can come forward and talk. So if you are trying to talk to 100 people, and first time it's very difficult. You right? You understand, right? So, yeah, good that you go to social media, watch movies, watch TV programs, but always focus on how to convert those entertaining to improve your English. I was told, I have read, okay, you may watch news, why not you watch English news? English news, but if you develop that habit, eventually some set of words, phrases will come to your body naturally, because once the accompanying is done, right? So naturally you also will start talking that way. And English movies without subtitles. I know very well Hindi, කතා කරන්න පොඩ්ඩක් පුළුවන් Hindi understand. Why? Because තාමත් තියෙනවා. අපේ ඕවර් කරන කාලේ ලංකාවට හින්දි සිනමාව ගෙනාවා with සිංහල subtitle. මේ කාලේ ඕක දිහා බලන්න කට අරගෙන බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා. Then eventually I can understand Hindi. So I'm asking you to convert, I'm asking you to use that opportunity to improve your English. I know most of you, either TV or the social network, you are busy with this second language materials. You make entertainment you can use or benefit. Right? So I believe my message is clear. English is a must. Right? I want to convey this message. And how we do it, there are a lot of mechanisms. Either you speak to your friend, either you read newspapers, watch movies, or go for a good class. Nothing to be sort of embarrassed or get upset. I mean, maybe I last time I was it's a learning. It's a learning, right? It's a learning that I am trying to learn, which I don't know. Think about it, and if you want any details about that particular class, you can ask me after the session. Not necessarily. Actually his class, he does. I don't know whether he has the same model. Those I can remember from Anuradha to Polonnaru, the people are coming, right? He speaks English his entire class, and he's going around and do exercise and give you exercise. So you will get some habits, and I can remember one day, 2000, right? One day he came to me and said, look here, I can feel that you will become one day you will become a manager. I'm a director at BBA Partners, and long way to go. So I'm not sharing my story. I'm trying to encourage you to have your story. Yeah? Yesterday I did, and today I want to do. It's more than these things. These things matters, but please get the message. You must develop yourself to come forward and talk, and also to improve your second language. We all have problems. In my case, I share my problem. You see the person who has attempted all your, let's say, paper in Sinhala medium and talking in front of you in our English. I'm the person who always assembly එකේ පිටිපස්සට යනවා ඉස්සරහට ගිහින් දැන් ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න ඕන. But my university seniors at University of Colombo, they help me to improve because during the rec season, they want people to come forward and do things. So even I don't like it, I have to come because ආවෙ නැත්නම් වෙන දේ දන්නවනේ. මොකද දන්නවනේ යුනිවර්සිටි යනවා දන්නවා. ආවෙ නැත්නම් මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා. ඉතින් යන්නේ. They find it difficult to stop me, not coming forward. Yeah? So find a way how you do it, don't think about it, right? But if someone asks you to talk, or if you want to say something, please try to come forward and talk. You might find difficulties in the, you feel like you're nervous and all, but if you don't take your first chance, until you get your first chance, you won't see the second, third, fourth and fifth, and once you get your first or second chance, you find that always I want to come forward. Itu ගන්න එකයි වෙන්නේ. ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇහුවම පළවෙනි තත්පර 10 20 තමයි ඇක් කරන්නේ ඊට පස්සේ ඇක් කරනවා. අම්මට නම් උත්තර දෙන්න නෑ ආවේ. පළවෙනි තත්පර 10 20 ෆයිට් කරනවා. ඉතින් නෙගටිව් එක දාලා එනවා ඉන්නවා. ඉතින් ඒක විසි කරනවා. Okay? Right. Today's session is about internal controls and internal logic. So very focused and listening to my story. So internal controls. What would you like to share about it?
Different procedures with organization to control accounts.
Okay. Control accounts. Here you can see my pronunciation. I'm trying to be kind of a UK person. I'm trying to experience the internal controls. What do you like to share? And I ask a question. I just give you the concept of control. You can share anything.
Controls that company use to manage their process.
Okay. Control that company use.
Internal control is the procedures and controls used by the organization to control the employees from the frauds and other activities done to the final statements in the accounts.
Okay. Good English? No? Confident. Only thing if you can stand or you can come forward, you can improve, but I know that he is very confident.
Company used by to its employee to train, content.
Which an organization have to prevent or detect any errors, mistakes, frauds, any risks. Collective, right? So set by the organization, not necessarily financial accounts, right? Yes. Being officer, our focus is financial statement. So internal controls, when it comes to internal controls, what matters for external is the internal controls implemented for financial reporting purpose, right? But general internal control definition is the internal control is the set of actions, rather procedures, set of actions implemented by the organization to manage the risk. In very simple word, risk. Right? To manage the risk. Example: preparation of bank reconciliation. So, is there action? Preparation of bank reconciliation. Is there action? Is it internal control? Preparation of bank reconciliation. Internal control? Is it internal control or an activity? Preparation of bank reconciliations. Internal controls can be controls or whatever procedures or activities set to manage risk. Preparation of bank reconciliation. एक ऐसे रिस्क को मॉनिटर करना और रिस्क को मैनेज करना के लिए भी रहती है ना एक्टिविटी. Preparation practice. Okay, risk address करना बाबू imply करती है action के activity. Risk को monitor करना के. Okay, we'll ask the question: why do you prepare bank reconciliations? Why you prepare bank? You know bank reconciliations, right? I don't know practically how to do it by taking the statements. I mean, I don't know in complete. One word missing, you would have put that one word to begin. Can you complete your answer? Huh? Yeah, it's right, but it's you start with reconciliation of bank statement and tax book. And then right? I go to school, I go to school in April. So I'll give the first session I learned. I think it will be a clear with the confidence. Confidence in what clear and what everything out there. What question you are getting is a weekend. Because it's good. Otherwise, it is good. We get to walk in a banana, make a need to make it. You know, okay, I'll teach. Right. Yes, it's a reconciliation of cash book and bank balance. What do you expect by reconciliation? Yeah, identify errors and omission, and there should be no errors and omission, but if at all if they are, only by doing reconciliation only you will see. Right? I identify errors and omissions and errors, and risk of reconciliation is right? So, preparation of bank reconciliation. Taking ආයතනයක රිස්ක් එකක් තියෙනවද නැද්ද කියන එක ඇත්තටම කව වෙනවද ලොකු. එතන ඉවරද? Preparation of bank reconciliation කිව්වොත් ඒක රිස්ක් එක මැනේජ් වෙනවද? What about preparation and review of bank reconciliation? Control එක sounds තියෙන්නේ පළවෙනි preparation of bank reconciliation, preparation and review bank reconciliation. Yeah, preparation and review means you prepare, someone will prepare, someone will review කරනකොට බලනවා අපිට මේක concept එකට කරලා තියෙනවද මේක error field then මේක effect right? So you also need to understand in any organization there are activities and controls. Both look similar, but control එක කියන හැම වෙලේම යම් කිසි දෙයක් වෙන්න වෙච්ච දෙයක් identify කරගන්න එකයි වෙන තියෙන avoid කරන්න කරන activity. Call for CVs. අපිටම HR department එක recruitment process එකේ part එකක් විදිහට call for CVs. Call for CVs control එකක්ද? HR manager will call for CVs. Control එකක්ද? HR manager will call for CVs and identify the best CVs for the interview process. Control එකක්ද? Control එකක්. Yeah, call for CVs කියෝක ආයතනයේ හැමකට වෙන ආයතනයේ යා call CVs call කරලා අනිත් දෙන්නම් නම් වෙන්නේ. Okay, so in summary, internal controls are the set of procedures or activities set by organization in academic work to control, to detect or prevent any irregularities. So basically to manage the risk, right? Before we go into internal audit, from the external audit point of view, where you meet internal controls and why internal controls matters to you for external audit. And why it matters for external audit. Internal control, the term internal control, where that get connected to external audit and why it matters for external audit. Why it matters for external audit and internal controls?
Because internal control, we can find fault.
So later transaction will get to the source document. So that means there is a process, right? There is a process, there are certain documents and the people involved. So there must be some discipline also, right? To come to financial statement. So that discipline is called controls. So external must have understanding what are those sub-processes and what people involved, what documents involved, and most importantly what controls are there to prevent possible risk, right? Now you go and discuss with your accountant about payment process. Very simple one, payment process, and Then when you discuss, he is saying, okay, I will prepare the payment voucher and I will get the supplier invoice and I will write the payment voucher and then send it to finance minister for approval. So it looks nice the way she talks and it will feel okay for you. But you must stop and ask the question from her or accountant, what if you raise a payment voucher for saving invoice twice? What if you prepare a payment voucher without an invoice? This is a name for they ask you what I will do in the risk scenario. So yes, she prepared payment voucher and she got the invoice and nicely she look at the payment invoice and she prepared the payment voucher, sign it and pass it to finance. There is nothing wrong. But that is what she explained. But there could be certain other negative scenarios. She might have prepared invoice, supplier A invoice, she might have prepared a payment voucher referring to supplier B's invoice. Or she might have there may be 3 copies of invoice from supplier. One is a book copy, the second one is our client's copy and the third one is some other. But client may have both copies and she may have intention to prepare 2 payment vouchers for 1 invoice. So we where ඉතාමතරම income invoice එක දෙපාරක් payment කරොත් කොහොමද කියලා. ඒකට අපි ආයෙත් කරනවා කියන්නේ but you must diplomatically ask certain question the negative side. So that is called risk if because we want to know මේවා තමයි risk area එක, we want to know what controls are there in the client place to prevent or detect those controls. So when you ask, okay, what if you prepare payment voucher for same invoice again? Then she might say, no, we have an invoice register for all the suppliers. Those are in sequence order. So we maintain serial continuity. So that will prevent. Or if any others, then she might say, okay, I will prepare and I will double check this and when the finance manager review before he approve the payment. So that means any mistake what the accountant has done will get detected through the finance manager's review. So controls are there. Eva matters for auditor. Right? Tomorrow you go and your manager or your senior asks you, okay, what's the expenses? ඔයා යනවා මේ එක්ස්පෙන්ස් එකට අදාළ සපෝටින් ටික දෙන්න කියනවා ක්ලයන්ට් මොනවා ටිකක් පේමන්ට් වලට ටිකක් සපෝට් එකක් දෙනවා බලලා මෙච්චර පර්සන්ටේජ් එක ඕක්ස් කරලා කියලා එනවා බැරි නම් ගිය අවුරුද්දේ පේමන්ට් ටික මේ අවුරුද්දේ ඕක්ස් කරලා පේ කරපු ඉන්වොයිස් එක ආයෙ ක්ලයන්ට් දීලා ඕක්ස් කරලා ඔක්කොම කරලා එනවා මොන කරන්නේ රිස්ක් එකක් තියෙනවා so you need to know the risk areas and then you must ask the client what sort of activities are there to prevent those risks, those are called controls. Now what are we watching at risk? Well, that's watching at I'm not quite sure whether you all know, but anyone who like to share? If you're finding risk questions, so that became a general audit for a general term. That is there in the auditing standard book, but I know that 99% of you, including myself, and I have never read the auditing standard book from start to end. I have read it, okay, not start to end. So, now I said like you discuss with your client about processes and you ask certain questions which is about risk. In auditing, we use a particular term for those questions. Any guesses? Yeah, risk of control, that means the client should stay in control. To get to know what are the controls are there, you must have some risk. The controls are there to address the risk. And a risk is finding you ask like a question, that's true. But in auditing, we have a term called for those questions. What we call for those questions? Risk questions are that we looking. Any experience one who like to answer? Have you got any thoughts? Have you got any thoughts?
Another question I can't say wrong. That is set up
questions. I'm not saying that is excessive, but she's saying like you have a questionnaire called internal control questionnaire. So for different areas, different processes, you prepare a questionnaire and you go to the client and ask those questions from client, right? That is also what? Inquiry. So yeah, it's a part of inquiry. There are a lot of different inquiries now. Now last year balance this year balance 25% වෙනස් වෙලා. So you go and ask from client. That is also inquiry. So this is about risk. To address risk, we need to ask certain questions from client. That is internal control questionnaire. In auditing term, you call these questions as, that's a set of questions now. For those questions, we say what could go wrong. How the what could go wrong? These questions we say what could go wrong. Like now, we discussed yesterday, when you prepare financial statement, when you auditing financial statement, you go down and you identify certain processes. Come to payment and receipt process. There are processes. Payroll comes through payroll process. So you need to first understand those processes. In those processes, from start to end, say payroll process, first maybe the punching of cards, then collecting hours, then applying rate, payroll records, review payroll records, approve payment. The process is there, right? In that process, there could be certain elements which may indicate certain risk, right? I think essentially when you discuss with your client about the processes, you must stop in all those critical points. Like in the process, you have critical points. Critical point, you stop and ask the question from yourself: what if? Client say, okay, when we prepare payroll records, we take payroll number of hours from the attendance register, right? Attendance register comes through the admin department, right? Then you may ask the question: what if the attendance register is not completely accurate? What if the attendance register has hours for employee who has not attended for the job? What is it? The hours fiscal and payroll calculated. So you must ask yourself, what if? Then you go and ask the same question from the relevant person, and the relevant person must give you an answer which satisfies detecting or preventing that risk. Okay, HR executive will update and HR manager mama check kar. And they might say, okay, we have a automatic punch card system, so automatically report එකේනවා. ඒක punch card එක share කරගන්න බෑ. share කරගත්තොත් automatic එක punch කරන්න පුළුවන් කෙනෙක්ට නේ. they might have some controls. So to get to know those controls, you must ask. Otherwise you may end up auditing and you may say true and fair, and the next year they might audit, the client might come and say, look here, there was a huge fraud in our payroll system last year. There were certain employees who has not come for work, who has resigned, also got paid. You have not highlighted in your audit. Why? Because you have not asked those questions. You need to ask the question from client. Okay, what if you paid for an employee who are already resigned? Resign exchange pay करना පුළුවන්ද? pay කරන්න පුළුවන්ද බැයි? resign exchange salary pay කරන්න පුළුවන්ද බැයි? නා? පුළුවන්ද බැයි? resign exchange payroll salary pay කරන්න පුළුවන්ද බැයි? Yes or no? No. පුළුවන්. ඒගොල්ලන්ට ඕනේ ඒගොල්ලන්ට pay කරන්න පුළුවන්. HR manager whoever controls එයා resign වුණා කියලා දන්නවා. resign වුණාට inactive කරන්න නැතුව තියාගෙන ඉන්නවා. තියාගෙන ඉඳලා check එක අරගෙන ඉඳලා ඒක account එකට දාගන්න. හරිද? fraud එකක් නෙමෙයි. So ඔයාලට අහන්න නැතුව ගියොත් එහෙම control එකක් ඔබට තිබුණ නැත්නම් ඔඩිට් එකේ ලොකු ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙනවනේ company. Then you must ask, okay, answer එක no තමයි. No වෙන්න මොකක් හරි action එකක් තියෙනවානේ. employee resign වෙන ගමන් system එකේ ගිහින් inactive කරන්න. Then next month එකේ යාට salary calculate වෙන්නේ. inactive කරන්න. That's the control. So inactive කරන්නේ හැමෝටම කරන්න බෑනේ. Accountant inactive කරන්න බෑ. There must be an authorized person who must go and inactive in the system to prevent that employee get paid even after his resignation. So that is the control. So get to know the control, you must ask the right question. That is called what to go wrong question or the right question. So that's how you get to know about internal controls for audit, for financial audit purpose, and that is same for even internal audit, but the purpose is different. Right? Anyone who has done internal audit or come from internal audit department? Internal audit or internal audit department? It's all external audit. Right. So what's the difference between external audit and internal audit? What's the difference? Difference between external and internal? I am asking because I can expect some answer. I feel it already.
I think internal audit is based on the client's requirement. According to the management who requires to audit the internal bodies. When the auditors ask to audit, then they can be identified their errors and mistake, they report to the management, and they can be made the internal person and leave them. The external audit is different for this based on the shareholders' perspective.
Internal audit, but strongly given third-party opinion about the company management and financial statements.
Internal audit is used to the employee company, and external audit is used to the make decision, shareholders will make decision in the company. Internal audit controlling management, external audit controlling in third party.
Let's go to the complex area. You know that it's complex. You and me know it's complex, but before that complex thing challenge you and make you complicated, you find a way to see that thing as simple and go to the complex area. It's ultimately you know the story, but everyone says, she knows that complex area. And yeah, it's a complex area, but you found your own way to study that, right? You will say external audit is giving an opinion on the financial statements to the stakeholders, right? That is external audit. So your scope is defined. Narrow scope, I must say, that is focused on the financial statements. The management is a management need, of course, it's a support for management. Internal audit is doing a kind of audit for the whole organization, not just financial statements, the entire organization, different areas in the entire organization, and report on findings and recommendations. No opinions, right? No true and fair or yeah, they rate their issues as significant issues, moderate issues, high, low, moderate, some ranking. But what they simply do is they go throughout the different aspects of the organization and go through the processes, identify what could go wrong, identify controls, test them and report with the recommendations. So they have a wide scope compared to auditor. They have a very wide scope and their focus is controls, processes. The external auditor's focus is numbers, right? External auditor must say true and fair, give a true and fair opinion about the financial statement because why numbers? Because financial statement has numbers. But entire organization you got quantitative things and the qualitative things. So internal auditor can't just focus on the number. They must focus on the risks and the controls. If something goes wrong, they are supposed to report everything. But of course, external auditor will go for an audit and maybe they stay there for 3-4 weeks and review the financials, audit the financials and give an opinion. But internal auditor can't just spend 4 weeks and go through each and every areas of the company and review and give a kind of findings. So their process, their activities throughout the year. So that is a management function. They are internal people. So throughout the year, the internal auditor, the internal audit department they will first make a plan. Okay, when it comes to organization, we got finance department. We start with what we like, right? We got finance department, we got HR department, marketing, procurement, sales, warehousing, security, compliance, legal, lot of areas, right? So they identify the areas, they design a plan at the beginning of the year with the approval of whoever monitoring the internal audit function, and they make a plan. Okay, January to March we focus on procurement. That is external audit. Internal audit will go to the nitty-gritty, even the reimbursement, vouchers, IOUs, everything. Right? Petty cash flow, summaries, everything, and they report. So that means their study of the process is in-depth study, and they study in depth. They look at the procedures and controls manuals of the company and see whether there is any gaps. So they find these gaps as findings. They go and discuss with management and get their comments and make a report and present to the board. All listed company must have internal audit function headed by the audit committee. Audit committee, right? Headed by audit committee. So listed company, there is a must that you must have internal audit and internal audit department. And other companies, that is management discussion. The management can think, okay, it could be part of the finance team. The finance department, there's a assigned person, he will do the internal audit. But there could be some other places, they might have internal audit department because they also want to get the same assurance like listed company do internal audit. That's a good sign, that's a good practice. Right? Okay, so what I want to highlight, the scope and the deliverables and the expectation is different when it comes to European exam. Now there are sort of auditing processes in organization all over the places, including the financial reporting and related processes. Right? Now you go for the audit and you start doing the same thing. Is it productive? Is it productive? By appearance, it's not productive. So what you should do first, you must go and ask the client whether you have an internal audit function. Right? Client might say yes, and then you go and check what is internal audit function. Finance department take body clerk කෙනෙක් තියාගෙන ඉන්නවා. එයා payment vouchers ටික petty cash ටික check කරනවා. That's what internal audit. ඒක internal audit වගේ audit එකට. ඒක වැදගත් වගේ audit එකට. What internal audit function එක වෙනවා satisfied වෙනවද external audit එක කරන්නේ නැහැ. Because you're just doing some checkings. So you need to first go and ask client whether they have a function. Then you must second evaluate whether this internal audit function is efficient. Right? When you decide whether it's efficient, you must see whether there are competent people within the internal audit department and what scope. Because scope is sufficient enough to cover certain aspect of your external audit, and whether their findings are good findings. Petty cash voucher එක නෑ finding එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම vouchers මේ findings තමයි තියෙන්නේ internal audit report. Do you think that is worth for you? For your audit? ඒ වගේ පොඩි නෑ. So you need to first decide whether you are getting the support of internal audit. So support එක ගන්නවද නැද්ද කියන්නේ you must look at those aspects. If you decide not to take, then you don't rely on internal auditor and you do your procedure. If you rely on the internal auditor, you cut down on certain procedures and you do the rest of the procedures. So that's why internal audit is important for external auditor. In most of the cases, you may think, okay, no point looking at, because their scope and their area of focus and their findings not matching our objective. Our objective is to give a true and fair opinion on the financial statement. They may have visited branches and found a lot of operational issues, but when it comes to numbers, those are like support, but not give a sufficient support. So you may drop it because it's wasting time. Right? So that is all about my session. So I asked a question from you whether you can. I believe 95% of here, not the percentage exactly. I'm just trying to put in words. Everyone needs some English. Agree? I'm almost struggle English, right? I struggled. I struggled here. So So why not you, right? I know the majority එහෙම තමයි. There's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong, but හැමදාම ඔබ තියාගෙන ඉන්න දෙයක් නේ. That's all. You need to stand up. And that is clear. And second, I believe you don't know my second question. I challenge you. You can explain me why it is I go to school, not I school go. පුළුවන් ද කාට හරි මට explain කරන්න? පුළුවන් ද explain කරන්න? පුළුවන්. පුළුවන් explain කරන්න. කවුරු explain කරනවා අපි යාකින් පටන්. Can you explain? No. Can you explain? Thank you. I like people say no for this question. By the way, okay, let me first finish that. I go to school, right? Why I go to school like I school go in ethic. Single communication. Mama පාසල් යනවා. I school go. Single English කිව්වේ ඒ වැරදි. වැරදිද? single එක translate කරන්න ඉස්සෙල්. මම පාසල් යනවා I school go. ඒකට ඒක වැරදි. ඇයි වැරදි කියලා කොහොමද ඒක කියන්න දන්නේ නැහැ. කොහොමද ඉංග්‍රීසි කියන්නේ? ඒක කොහොමද sentence එකක් හරියට ලියන්නේ? I learn English. මම ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. Okay. So I didn't count how many I asked. Everyone who said I learn English, they are right, the rest wrong. I learn English keepaya hari. I am learning English keepaya hari. I learn English keepaya hari. Okay, that's not my point. Then mama English igena gannawa. Right? I English learn. I learn English. Now I learn English කියලා කියන්නේ හරියට කියපුවා I learn English කියලා මේක I English learn සිංහලෙන් කිව්වොත් කියනවා දන්නවා කියන්නේ ඒක දන්නේ and there's nothing to be upset or find fault සමහර අය කියනවා මේක English ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ I'm learning English කියවම මම ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉගෙන ගන්නේ මම ඉංග්‍රීසි දන්නවා I'm learning English කියන්නේ මම ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉගෙන ගන්නේ තමයි I'm learning and I learn English එකක් නැහැ English શબ્දકોෂයෙන් වාක්‍යයක් නැහැ I'm learning English කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා ඒක සිංහල meaning එක මම ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉගෙන ගන්නේ සිටිනවා not මම ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉගෙන ගන්නවා okay that's not my point this is how I learned those days when I was going through English learning books, I saw the pattern of sentence. First you need to learn how to write sentence, then you come to present tense, past tense, future tense. There are 12 tenses. 12 tenses තියෙනවා කියලා active tenses and passive tenses. Active voice and passive voice තියෙනවා නේද? Active voice එකේ කාලවකවානු කියන ක්‍රම 12ක් තියෙනවා. මේක 12න් දෙකක් මික්ස් කරගෙන තමයි දැන් කිව්වේ. right? ඒ හැම එකේම වාක්‍ය ලියන විදිහක් තියෙනවා. එහෙම ලියන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා අපි සාමාන්‍ය වාක්‍යයක් ලියන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ. මේ වාක්‍යයක් ලියන එක මම ඉංග්‍රීසි පොත්වල දැක්කේ ඒ දවස්වල subject predicate. subject කියනකොට මම ඒකවයි කතරු ගැන තමයි කියන්නේ ක්‍රියාව කරන කෙනා. predicate කියන එක මම දන්නේ නැහැ. dictionary එකකට දාගම සෙසු වචන කියලා තියෙනවා. හරියට තිබ්බා දන්නේ නැහැ. right? දන්නේ නැහැ. but I also used to learn what is in the textbook. I go to school කියන book එකේ තියෙන මම ඇඟට එහෙම නෝගලට තමයි. right? The pattern of making sentence in Sinhala start with cut through ක්‍රියාව කරන කෙනා ඊට පස්සේ ක්‍රියාව ඒ කියන්නේ මොකක්ද ක්‍රියාව ඔයාට ඉගෙන වචනේ කර්මය කියලා කියන්නත් පුළුවන් නැත්නම් සෙස් වචන කියලා කියන්නත් පුළුවන් cut through ක්‍රියාව කරන that is the day one in 2000 that's the lesson I learned cut through ක්‍රියාව කරන right මම පාසල් යනවා කියන එක ඒ මොඩල් එකේ ඉස්සෙල්ලා දාන්න ඕනේ මේ මොඩල් එක කොහොමද දාන්නේ මම පාසල් යනවා cut through කවුද මම ක්‍රියාව යනවා සෙස් වචනේ පාසල් මම යනවා පාසල්. මම පාසල් යනවා එක රීරයිට් කරනවා සිංහලෙන් මම යනවා පාසල්. දැන් ඒ හැම එකම ඉංග්‍රීසි වචන මාර්ගන්න ඕනේ. ඒක දන්නේ නැත්නම් ඉගෙන ගන්න මේකයි. මම යනවා go to go. මම යනවා කියන්නේ go. School to go to school. කතු ඉගෙන ගන්නවා මොනවද ඉගෙන ගන්න ඉංග්‍රීසි. I learn English. ඔව් තමයි මම ඉගෙන ගත්ත බොහොම strong lesson එක අනිවාර්යෙන් ඒක මට ඒ කාලේ වැටෙනවා. මොකද මම ඉංග්‍රීසි මෙලෝඩිය දන්නේ නැහැ. So I believe that made some impact to your life today, at least the majority. That is how you write sentence. So go home and practice. I think first 3 months, little things. First 3 months in that class, we did only that. First 3 months, every day we try to write sentence. So I feel very happy that I can write any sentence. Then only this active and passive will come, and then the story will little change, but because you know your base, your foundation, it is not that difficult there. Okay? So that's my takeaway for your to home. And after my initial briefing, I came to you and asked certain questions. Yes, good that you got some knowledge to answer for the question, but it will add more value if you stand up and give me the answer, or if you come forward and give me the answer. Say for example, I got a good answer from you, right? I got a good answer from her. So that means your content is good. What left is the presentation and the confidence of that. If you come forward, if you stand and say, people will add more value to your knowledge, and then your brand will be everywhere. Right? Okay, I hope you will have a good time with the rest of the program, and thank you.
Thank you, sir, for coming and enlightening us. It is now time for lunch. The lunch bags will be provided at the lobby area, and please have your lunch on the respective tables. Please assemble them sharp by 1:30. Special invitees and the speakers are requested to move towards the members' lounge to partake their lunch.